but we got smashed, but we got smashed, but we got smashed, but we got smashed, bro.
What's up, people? It's your boy Levelhead back with another live and leveled gamers podcast. I have the crew, K-Bum 20, Keith Norris. I was gonna say something, Keith, but I decided no, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it right on tonight. I was about to hit mess with you. I was like, the newest member, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But welcome to the show, man. But we got Smash Bros. So what's up, Nia? So we got a little bit to talk about. Perfect Dark, canceled. Intuitive Studios closed. And more layoffs in the Microsoft background. Man, do they even have any studios at this point? As many they are laid off, and closed doors? What did I say? Yeah, initiative. I don't know why I said intuitive. Initiative. Yes, we are. Let me slap yourself. Slap myself for that. I apologize. Stupid. Intuitive Studios closed. Also, Helldivers 2 coming to Xbox. I guess that's a good Xbox news for today. Switch 2 record-breaking sales. System still doing great. What's up, Comic Book Crunch? Unperfect Dark. I want to say fake Dark because I don't think that footage is even real. But we got to talk about it. I brought that up in the chat again, and we started finding several other people saying the same thing. I was like, I don't think that footage was real. That was some good and evil part 2 from Ubisoft action going on there. But yeah, man, we got a little bit to talk about. Anything else, fellas? Did I miss anything? Did I overlook? This is episode 383. Man, we've been doing this for a long time. But yeah. What's up, people? Y'all ain't talking. Where y'all at? K-Bum, where you at, man? Yeah, he hot. I should have known when he said I'm playing something new. He ain't trying to share. I'm down here in my robe, man. I'm kind of warm and all relaxed. Yeah, man. No work tomorrow, 4th of July. So, I'm in relaxed mode. Man, I got a lot of games to talk about, bro. A whole lot of games, man. I've been doing a little gaming. But yeah, man, welcome to the show. Nia can't hear you. Oh, my God. There you go. All right, my bad. I had you. I don't know why it mutes. I guess it's muting now because I muted in the last one after we exit, so it stayed muted. Okay. Go ahead,
we
Tess,
good?
man. Can you hear him?
See, the time I didn't say something about being mute, I'm muted.
Is there not a cause, K-Bump? Is there not a cause? But welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show. Can you hear the guys? Can you hear them now, Neil? Can you hear them now? But yeah, man, we got a little bit to talk about. And I think we're going to go a lot of different ways on a few of these topics. Things are changing, folks. The landscape is changing. The gaming industry is going into a new space. I think there's going to have to be a lot of adapting. I think a lot of things have been ruined. A lot of things have. There's some great, good things that have took place. Some bad things that have happened that has taken place. The gaming industry is going into a different place, man, and we just got to get ready for
much
it.
Different.
Yeah, this is not the 7th gen anymore. The 8th gen is this the 8th or 9th gen? The Switch 2 is 9th gen. So the 8th gen has been a
10th gen. 10th gen.
No. Switch 2 is 9th gen, ain't it?
10th gen.
Oh,
I've heard.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Let me look this up.
Wikipedia probably gonna say no, but the Switch was nice, Jen.
Let me ask Miss Chat. See if Keith right. What video game generation is this? Let me see. What generation is the Switch 2? It says 9th. So
10th.
why you say 10th? Explain.
Because for some odd reason, they hold the Wii U and the Switch in the same generation.
But what is the PlayStation 5? I thought it was the 8th generation. Let me see. What
PlayStation
generation
5
is the PlayStation 5?
Nice gen.
Okay, so it is 10th gen. You're right. That's correct. Okay, my bad. So the 9th gen has been. Shut up. Don't talk now. I asked you before, you didn't talk. Don't talk now. The 9th gen has been a strange experience, I think, for us as gamers. I think COVID, and I don't know if we can still blame COVID. I don't know what's going on. Microsoft has went a whole different way. Sony, yeah, we got to talk about it, and Nintendo. So we got to talk about it. We got to figure out what's going on. But Perfect Dark faded to black. They done canceled Perfect Dark. I don't ever think it was a real deal, but we'll talk about that. Anything else? Oh, yeah, let me say this. I told you guys, but I'll bring it to the podcast. I did watch Ironheart? Yeah, Ironheart.
Yes.
And I'm going to say that while it needs work, this show is not near as bad as critics are trying to say. I believe it's because the cast is primarily brown and black. And I will give the caveat that the LGBT character that they got there don't really fit. Just gonna be honest with you. It kind of seems forced there. Don't shade me. I'm just giving my honest opinion. I think that was a little forced, but other than that,
I think that person is that in the comments. I haven't.
That's what I don't. That's why I said. But it didn't fit. It felt forced, but it didn't take away from the show. Anyway, I think she's acting well, way better than Black Panther. She's not so hood and so what she was in that. She kind of grounded. She kind of a little bit more serious and a little bit more showing her brilliance and talking a little bit more educated. I think they hating on it because of what I just said initially. That is predominantly brown and black folks. I don't feel like there's any. They got one character, white character that kind of is in the storyline, and not just a side piece, a transitional character. He kind of in the background, but he's there. And well, he's not in the background, but he's not. He's in the forefront, I would say. So I think that's what it is. I don't think the show is bad as people trying to say it is. It needs some work though. It was slow. It was slow for the first 3 episodes.
You saw the whole thing?
I gotta watch episode 4. It was slow.
Okay,
episode 1 was slow. Episode 2 was slow. Episode 3 opened up. That's what I would say.
Okay, you're right where I'm at. I watched it too. But me and my oldest, we was watching it, and I was enjoying it. I didn't find anything bad. Of course, I'm not really just heavy on the criticism of shows. I just watch them for my entertainment. But I didn't find anything that made me feel like, this is terrible. Turn this trash off. I didn't see that. I saw some decent writing. I saw, her going from one position to another one, getting linked up with these people. Like you said, I gotta watch episode 4 to see where it goes.
Yeah, I haven't watched 4.
But and I think the other thing was, and K-Bon, I know you're gonna correct me if I say this, but I think a lot of people feel like, she's trying to take over the Iron Man mantle. I don't think that that's the case.
Nope.
I don't think you can ever take over the Iron Man mantle.
And I just
think that she's just as and I just think that she's just as brilliant. That's it.
Well, anybody says that hasn't seen the comics.
No, I'm not saying. Well,
no. I'm not saying you guys. I'm just saying people who say that are not comic book fans. Comic book fans don't say that because we know why and how she was introduced.
Right. I'm just saying,
he was actually a mentor. He was kind of like dead at that point, but he was his ghost was like or his not his ghost, but his
Kawan, you right.
Projection of him was taught her. Okay. So she was actually taught, mentored by Tony Stark. She wasn't meant to be a replacement.
Right. Welcome to the show, Kawana. You're right. Mostly is white men who were bashing the show. Like I said, it was a little slow in action, but when the action is there, it's dope. I think the antagonist is very intriguing, interesting antagonist. His power, I don't know who he is. I'm not as familiar with Ironheart, so K-Bomb maybe I had my comic book characters that I like and I kind of kept up with, and then other ones kind of just background noise for me. So I'm not as familiar with Ironheart, but my introduction to her was Black Panther. I knew of her, but I didn't follow her. But not to belabor this too much longer, the acting she did in Black Panther 2 was trash. And the acting she's doing here is actually really good. It was just a little slow, like a lot of character building and development taking place. So I thought, if they complain about the pace, I can give them that to a degree. But this is not a bad show. Not in my book. I wouldn't consider this a bad show. And I have jumped on the Star Wars Encore 2. But I got to start over, man. I keep watching it and not paying attention, so I got to go back and watch it again. So anything else, or we can get into what you've been gaming on?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Yeah. You know what time it is. It's time for What Have You Been Gaming On? Sing it, folks. Let's go. Let's go. Hey. What you been gaming on? 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 Gaming on, gaming on, gaming on. Welcome to the show, Heart and Soul. Microsoft layoffs 9,000 more than all of Nintendo's 8,200 employees. That is crazy. But we'll get into that. Thank you for that information, bro. I don't know if y'all saw that. He said Microsoft has laid off 9,000 people. That's more than all Nintendo's basic staff. That's crazy. Who want to take the floor first?
I can go ahead. I know Keith usually go first, so I'll go ahead and jump on that. Before we get into it, Ironheart is actually on Rotten Tomatoes like an 86. Is one of the highest rated Marvel TV shows as of right now. So some of the creators are enjoying it. Not sure where all the well, we kind of talked about the dislike, but yeah, it's one of the highest rated shows.
I told you the dislike is fake. I
haven't seen it for myself, so I will have an opinion once I get a chance to watch it. But let me quickly talk about what I've been gaming on. So let's jump on the Switch 2 side. And so still every now and then playing some Mario Kart, hopping in, playing that. Playing mostly on the Switch 2. I've been playing Civ 7 is where I've spent most of my time on my Switch playing. I still enjoy it. I think it's a fun game. I've put maybe like 10, 15 hours into it already, which is more than I put into Mario Kart. I know we kind of in the chat kind of talked about why that is the case. It doesn't really have that appeal to kind of keep you playing the game, but that's a topic for a different day. But on the PlayStation, been playing. I just got FIFA downloaded for free. That's one of the new games I've been playing. FIFA was downloaded free a couple of weeks ago because of the EA. I forget what they call it, EA Play or whatever. where you pay like a certain amount of money online. I mean, a year, and you can play. You can play their games when they enter the vault, which is like a couple of months after they come out. You can play them without having to buy them. So I've been playing that. I'll play a little bit 2K today because I haven't played it in a while and I felt like it. Actually got the itch to play college football because that actually drops this Monday. So I've been playing college football 25 in preparation for college football 26. Pretty excited about that. Playing Marvel Rivals still. The new season comes out next Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday, where they introduce the Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix. Well, not Dark Phoenix. The Phoenix, Jean Grey, is going to be a new playable character. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right. On to the new games. So if you guys remember the podcast, the last week, Keith was kind of giving me some suggestions about a side-scroller game to play. He did mention the game Fist, Forge, and Shadow's Torch. And I'm here to say that I did not play it. That's not one of the games that I played this week. But there was another game that I have been eyeballing for a while, which is more of a combat-based side scroller. I've been eyeballing for a while, and I thought to go ahead and give it a shot. And it's called Dead Cells. It was actually you say what?
I said yes.
It was actually up for I don't know if it was for Game of the Year, but when it came out, it was definitely one of the best ranked games, or one of the best games that came out for that year. It's an indie game. It is a roguelike side scroller, so it's a little bit different than just a regular side scroller. It is roguelike, so it does pull on emphasis of what is that game called? Hades. So it does feel like a side scrolling Hades. So it's cool. I don't like it as much as Hades, but I don't dislike it as much as Hollow Knight did. So I'm kind of in between it. So I'm still playing it. It's about 2 hours into the game. Still trying to understand the powers and the combat system and the enemies. So it's not bad. It's not a bad game.
I didn't hear the game you said.
It's called Dead Cells.
Dead Cells.
Dead
Is that the one
Cells.
you recommended last week?
No, that's Fist was the game that Keith recommended last week.
Dead Cells, as in CELL or SEA?
Yes, CELLS.
Okay.
Like cells in your body.
Okay.
So been playing that. Like I said, it's a roguelike side scroller, so I'm getting trying to get used to the gameplay and how it plays. It is more built on combat, so I'm just trying to learn it and everything like that. But there's another game that I actually played.
PlayStation 5?
Yeah, PS5. Yeah. Okay. Only thing I'm playing on the Switch, like I said, was the Mario Kart and Civ 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's another game that I played. I'm only about an hour into this one, and that is Black Myth Wukong.
Whoa! Okay. Wait a minute. Hold up. Is this GameFly?
Heck yeah! I'm buying that game.
They got a physical version of it.
Yeah. They got a physical version now. Yeah, they've had it for a good little minute.
I might have to consider. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've been playing the game for an hour, trying to get used to it, the combat system, understand how it works. I went back and forth between the language because I didn't like the voice of the original character, the English version of his voice. So I went back to the Chinese, and then I got tired of reading, so I put it back to English. So I'm just trying to find out what's the best language setting for the game. But I've only put an hour in, and I already think I'm gonna pass on this one. Not that it's a bad game. So let's say this. I'm gonna try to close very quickly. It's a Souls game, and I think I'm tired of Souls games. I think I'm after finally beating Booty Blade. which was a Souls game.
We
I,
gotta come up with a different name, man. We can't keep using booty blade, bro. You gotta
Booty
come up with.
Blade. Uh, I think I'm just tired of Souls. Just give me a good action adventures. I mean, don't make it a Souls game where I gotta constantly die and I have to constantly go back to the starting spot and beat the same enemies over and over until I learn their attack patterns. And I don't got a patience for Souls games. And I think that's what's happening right now. So it was fun, and then I got to these bosses where you're clearly underpowered for these bosses you're fighting in the early game. I mean, they intentionally make you underpowered to face these bosses, so you do have that die and rinse and repeat type of thing. And I'm just like, I don't care about millisecond timing on my dash. Like I don't care about that. So I don't know. I'm not gonna
Game Black Myth.
put it away anytime soon. Like I said, I've only spent an hour in the game, but I'm already leaning towards a no for this one because I'm just tired of playing Souls game. And it's a good game. It looks good. The gameplay is fluid. It's just I'm tired of Souls at this point. So that's my take. So that's what I've been gaming on.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, Keith, what you been gaming on, bro?
So the usuals, Hogwarts, still putting some hours into that game. Still loving that combat. I think if you are into like the Spider-Mans and stuff like that, Batman, it's not 1-to-1 like that, but the combat does flow. Like you can block off screen, like you got just like this little yellow thing that goes above his head, and you can block off screen. There's a red one that glows where you got to actually move out the way while you're also simultaneously attacking, changing spells. I say check out Hogwarts. It's a definitely a good game in that regard. Of course, still playing Mario Kart World. Not much to say there. I'm gonna switch to PC, then I'm gonna come back to Switch. On PC, still playing Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. Can't believe that I had this game this whole time and just ran past it. Didn't play it.
Wow.
I got it.
But
Switch.
you got it too?
I got it on the Switch.
You got it on Switch?
I played through a lot of because I bought Doom and I enjoyed Doom, so I thought Wolfenstein would be similar, but Wolfenstein kind of gave me the nauseous. So I was.
Thank you. So it wasn't just me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, this ain't working for me. Let's see what else. I played a little bit of Cyberpunk today, and I'm like, man, I missed this game. So probably gonna jump back into some Cyberpunk. I was doing a mission with what's her name? Jade. I can't think of her name.
Oh, my bad.
No. But yeah, I was doing a mission with her, and that was pretty fun. Let's see. So going back to the Switch, so a little game came out on the GameCube, called Mario Strikers Charge. I think is what it is. Mario Strikers Charge. I got a chance to play a little bit of that with the video game. Her and Donkey Kong was giving her that business. If you want to, if you follow her on Twitter, she posted it. I posted it.
He said
that game,
Donkey Kong was giving you the business.
DK is hey, we're gonna move past. DK is a beast. I don't know. Have y'all ever played Strikers?
Let me have my moment, man. Why y'all be ruining my moment? Go ahead.
You was going somewhere else with that.
No, I was not. I caught it when you said it. I was like, oh, okay. I see what he's saying. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Have you played Strikers? Any of them?
Yeah, I played it today.
Played today. Okay. I like that game. It was actually pretty fun. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm guessing, with the limited knowledge I do have of playing soccer, but it's actually pretty fun with the game. Of course, you could do. I think you pick like a captain, so you can pick like between Mario, Luigi, Peach, the usual suspects, and then the rest of your team could be Toads, Koopa Troopas, and Birdo, I believe. So you'll be the captain, and the captain obviously has different abilities than everybody else, and then the other teammates, like the Koopa Troopas or whatever, and they're animations when they score is hilarious. They try to make it look like it's like a real. They do the little yeah. It's pretty dope. But the game is fun. You got a little juke move on there. You can do like a little spin move. You can throw, of course, you can throw the Mario shells, like the blue shell turns you into ice. You can throw the spiky red shell. You can throw the red shells, green shells, and they all have their own characteristics. It's pretty good. You can throw bananas, but it's actually a pretty fun sports game, man. I say if you got NSO, definitely check it out. And the last few games that I played, and this is the K-Bomb, I played both Prince of Persia and Hades. Those are two games that you cannot put down and try to pick back up and think you're gonna know what you're doing.
Right.
You cannot. It's not gonna happen. I played Hades. The last time I played Hades was on the original Switch, which was back in June, or maybe even before then. I tried to play it this time around. I was like, what was I doing? And I think I was in Hades. I don't know. I think I died. I was in Hades, and then I switched a weapon from like a sword to a arrow. I didn't know what I was doing. And then I tried to play Prince of Persia again. Didn't know what I was doing. I was fighting I think I was fighting a boss, and I forgot how to block and parry. I was like, oh my god, let me turn this back off. So I turned them back off. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been gaming on. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been gaming on.
Okay, all right. So I guess the floor is mine. So I wanted to put up that game. K-Bun had just mentioned that Dead Cell. Let y'all kind of see what that looked like. Here's that. I've been playing some games in the background. So me, what have I been gaming on? So let me get the usuals, like K-Bum say. Let me get the usuals out the way.
Huge.
I've been playing Street Fighter 6, and I'm just gonna say, man, this is an awesome port to the Switch 2. Like Street Fighter 6 on the Switch is dope. It's really, really good. And I almost wish I didn't buy it on the PlayStation 5 because I'm not going to probably play it on there anymore unless, I don't think I'm need to. So, Cyberpunk, I'm enjoying Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk requires a lot of map navigation, and I don't know what main story is from side story, and it's confusing. So I'm still trying to figure out the map because I just want to. I just want to stay on the main story. I don't really want to do side stuff. Right? I just want to get through the story and enjoy the game. That way, I'm not trying to do all the extra stuff. So I'm gonna have to talk to you guys after we get off to help me to identify what is a main story from the side stories because I am confused. It's just dots for days, and I'm used to that with Ubisoft. But you typically get main mission, side mission, and in Cyberpunk, it doesn't really, at least I'm not noticing what side mission, what's main mission, and then I go into the list of what I haven't done, and I still can't tell, okay, what is the main mission, what is the side mission, and how do I, so that's where I'm kind of stuck, and it's a little frustrating. But anyway, let me keep going. Fast Fusion, as y'all know, I'm really enjoying that. Mario Kart World, I finally played Rainbow Road. Rainbow Road was very interesting. So that's the mains. That's let me get that out the way. So I got a lot of gaming in, so I'm just being real with you. And one of y'all gonna be shocked with when I get there. So I wanted to see what Tears of the Kingdom looked like because I saw what Breath of the Wild looked like. So I was like, let me see what Tears of the Kingdom look like on the Switch. 2, because Keith has said it doesn't look as good. And I am here to confirm that whatever they did with Tears of the Kingdom visually pales. And I mean pales in comparison to Breath of the Wild. I think that I believe that huge world of, the sky and the underworld made them have to choose some areas to cut some corners or, because the textures and the draw distance and the models is nowhere near Breath of the Wild. I mean, Breath of the Wild looks, I won't say nowhere near. It looks noticeably better than Tears of the Kingdom. Noticeably better. The grass, the everything. I was like, man, when I put in Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, this kind of oogly. It's sharper. I like it. But I would be honest, though. I was right before you go fight Ganon, so that is kind of oogly anyway. And I was trying to show my brother he never seen Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom. I wanted him to see Ganon. I just forgot that fight you had to do before you get Ganon. And Keith, like you said with Hades, you can't put something down and pick it back up. You can't pick Breath of the Wild back up after you put it down for a while. I was like, how do I control? Okay, what is what? I was getting thrashed. So I said, forget it. And then I got through
1,000%.
Beat the face.
Look, I got through the 3 hordes of characters, and they started bringing the lizard dudes. I said, forget this. I said, bro, you got to go. I'm not playing this no more. I gave him all the heave and hoe I can give it. I'm done. So Breath of the Wild looks way better than Tears of the Kingdom. I played Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta.
I just was out of curiosity. I'm like, well, let's see what the Switch 2 doing with Bayonetta 2. Put it down, turn it off. Ugly. It's an ugly game. Let's turn it off. Don't even waste time.
It didn't get no better?
No better. No, it looked just like it looked. Just sharper ugliness. I don't know.
It looked like it looked.
Yeah, it's just sharper. It's clearly ugly. That's what it is. So anyway, Strikers. I play Strikers. Mario Strikers. I play Soul Calibur on the in the GameCube. I played Wind Waker. Try Wind Waker. That's another game you can't put down and pick back up if you ain't play. I ain't played Soul Calibur so long. I can remember it ain't like Tekken and Street Fighters. You got to remember some stuff. I played Wind Waker. Man, I'm going to say this. Wind Waker is a good-looking game. Nintendo just need to let you make it widescreen and not leave it in the bracket. Wind Waker.
That came up with the Wii U version.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not. This is the GameCube version. So they need to make that wide because the Wii U version is not on the Switch 2. Yeah,
it needs to be.
Okay. But I'm going to say this. This game can almost pass as the Wii U version. Almost. Not quite, but almost. It's a nice looking game. So I got through that. All right. So the 2 games I want to talk about, then we can get into the topics. The first one I'm going to talk about is Mario Odyssey. Let me restate that. Mario Godyssey. Let me say this, man. Now, y'all know that we just found out that with D2K, the team behind D2K Bonanza is the one and only Odyssey team, right? That's what's been revealed, that it is actually the Odyssey team, and it has a striking resemblance to Odyssey. We all saw it. We all noticed it. So I wanted to go back and see how Godyssey looked. Let me tell y'all something.
Tell us, sir.
I don't know what Nintendo is doing. I don't know what magical wizardry, or did they pray to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? I don't know what they doing. Odyssey look like a brand new game on the Switch 2. Odyssey looks, it looks like, Keith, K-Bum, it looks so good that I started a whole new game and I'm starting the game over, playing back through it again. That's how good it looks. That's how smooth it is. The textures, like, you don't even realize, like, in the first stage when you wake up, you on the stage, what it looks like kind of is, I don't know, it looks almost like a fuzzy ball, like you running on, like, I don't know if you've seen
the area.
Yeah, and I didn't even notice in the background that there was a highlight of a city. Because on the Switch, you can't really make that out really good. It's blurry. You can literally, I'm like, wait a minute, that was a city off into the horizon around this thing? Like, everything is so freaking detailed. It looks like, let me say this, it looks better than anything they did on Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Like, the free update for Mario Odyssey looks better than what you're paying for with Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. It's that much better looking. And it made me want to replay through the game. So I started it over, start a whole new game. I'm collecting the moons. I got about 2-3 hours in. So I'm trying to collect the moons to get off the first island. Beautiful game, man. I'm like, dang, this game is so good looking. The next game that I played, and I played this before Mario Odyssey, and that was Mario Wonder. And I'm here to tell you guys that your boy Leveled has beat Mario Wonder. Didn't even know that I was that far into the game. I was like, let me go ahead and fight this Bowser. I didn't realize that was the final boss. I thought I had more moons to collect. I do, but I guess I didn't have to collect all of them. So I'm like, let me go ahead and fight this first version of Bowser. Went in, fought him, beat him, and the credits start rolling. I'm like, wait a minute, what? The credits rolling? I got more to do in this game. So yeah, Keith, your boys beat Mario Wonder. Where you at, Keith? Huh?
I got one more to
I'm gonna be done. So what you been gaming on is finished. We done. We done what you been gaming on. No more. You got your turn. Let me in on this hot note, man. Go ahead, Keith. What you got to say?
I beat that game. I was just saying congratulations.
Okay.
I'll beat it at some point.
Yeah, man. Yeah, your boy beat Mario Wonder, man. I didn't realize. Now, I was trying to 100% the game. So if I would have known that I was actually going to beat the final boss, I wouldn't have done it. I would have waited. I would have continued to play and got the rest of the little moons or whatever they were. Let me say this, man. Wonder is a beautiful game. A sneaky, beautiful game. I think they overplayed the Wonder Flower. And they in their creativity with the Wonder Flower, they got a little beside themselves, and it kind of sometimes it broke up the experience in a way that wasn't necessary. I did like the final fight with Cooper or Bowser. It's kind of rhythm based. It's actually a rhythm based fight.
Thanks for spoiling the game for me.
Oh my God! Slap yourself! But I didn't tell you how you. Okay.
But I didn't tell you this part when you got to jump on him and then you got to do it 3 times.
Yeah, you don't know how to do. You got to go in and figure out how to do it. But my bad. I didn't even think about that. I was spoiling something. But it is an interesting fight. I don't think I'm gonna be honest with you. A little underwhelmed by the fight. A little underwhelmed. No, a lot underwhelmed. This has nothing on Super Mario World on the Super NES, and that final that's the most epic. To me, that's the most epic Bowser fight was Super Mario World, and then I would say Super Mario 64, and I guess Mario 3, because Mario 3 was kind of like Super Mario World. Just Super Mario World was more graphical. And I would say Galaxies are some of the best Bowser encounters. The first Galaxy was a dope Bowser encounter. And the fight in 3D World was dope. This felt like it should be more. Like you're supposed to encounter Bowser again and you really get a fearsome fight. This was kind of mid. Like, yeah, it was mid.
You think the playing multiplayer would, couch co-op or whatever would have benefited than just doing it solo?
No, not with my kids. Probably not with my kids, and they not maybe with my oldest daughter, but possibly. It definitely, now that you say that, looking at some of the aspects of what it wanted you to do, it definitely was designed for multiple people, and I think it would have made it a little bit more complicated because you have so much going on the screen, but. It just was an underwhelming. It was an underwhelming encounter. I'm just gonna be real. It didn't even feel like it should have been a final fight. It should have felt like a mid-boss encounter with Cooper, and then you come back and you get the real fight. That's why I was shocked when the credits started rolling. I'm like, I know this ain't it. This can't be it, and that was it. So, Your boy has beat Mario Wonder. Actually, I'm not even telling y'all all the games I played. I just don't feel like going through all them games. I played a lot of games. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into these topics. Yeah, I'm going to say Mario Wonder, I won't say it's mid. I think that's too harsh. But it's up there, but it pales in areas that other Elite Mario 2D games didn't. I think they overplayed the Wonder stuff. I think it was dope. It's nice a few times, but having to find the Wonder Leaf in every stage and then it doing some little tricky thing that sometimes it was cool, sometimes it was just meaningless, nothing. It's like, why am I even doing this? It took away from, to me, the creativity. It was very creative, but not in the way that we're typically used to with Mario 2D games. Like, the challenge wasn't there. It wasn't challenging. But there is some challenging stages that I still got to go through. That is hard. So it's there, but yeah, that's what I would say. I'll leave it alone. And they got to start voice acting stuff. There's too much talking in these games not to have voice acting, which I get there. I get there when we talk about something else. But so let's get into these topics. So the first thing we got to talk about on tonight is Microsoft and Perfect Dark. As y'all know, we got the announcement that Perfect Dark and Interactive Studios has been canceled and closed. So Perfect Dark has faded to black. And the studio, all the employees have been, I guess, either relocated or let go. So I guess the question is, how do we feel about this? And then we could just let the talk conversation go where it goes. Keith, go ahead, bro. Give me your thoughts. How are you feeling about Perfect Dark? And this is it playing right here, leaving us and not becoming a real thing. What's your thoughts here?
So we just talking about Perfect Dark. We're not talking about layoffs, none of that stuff.
All of it. The whole gamut. What you feel about Perfect Dark being canceled, the layoffs, the whole nine?
All right. So first of all, I do want to say condolences to all the people who lost their jobs and had to, like you said, relocate or try to figure it out. Completely blindsided. I saw a few people on Twitter. If I can get this guy's name right, Zolklich or something like that. I saw he was one of the developers out at Microsoft or Xbox, one of the two, and he was just talking about how devastated he was. I've been there before. I've been in a position where the company downsized and I was left to figure it out, But it's a terrible, terrible feeling. So I just want to say that first and foremost. Man, we've been waiting on Microsoft to give us some bangers, or just simply do something with those rare IPs that we've been waiting on. And we finally got a little snippet last year with Perfect Dark, and we all thought it was amazing. Upon watching it again a few times recently, and speaking of level, I can say, yeah, this probably wasn't a real thing, but we know Perfect Dark is a real thing. So what we're seeing, what he's showing on the footage, yeah, all of that was a beautiful package, vertical slice of something, or not, or just something they made up to look good, and maybe the game was never really actually being developed. But again, the IP is what's important, and I don't think we're going to see this IP again. I think the way Microsoft has handled, and I can't talk about the other stuff that I'm only going to talk about Xbox because I didn't really dive too deep into the other stuff. But the way they've handled this, it was absolutely horrible. So many studios, so many games, so many things that will never see the light of day because they just simply don't know video games, and they're just suits, and they're heartless, and they don't care about people. And Yes, I care about the video game aspect of it, but I do appreciate the people that's making the games, and I want them to continue to make the games. So I don't like the situation. Like I have a million thoughts running in my head right now, but in order to stay peaceful on this podcast, I'm just going to leave it there. But I didn't like this. I found myself angry, being a person who's been in a position like this, and then to see Microsoft uh layoff, just consistent layoff. What you can expect from them is consistent layoffs or just studio closures and just bad practices versus expecting great games, which is sad. I expect the layoffs. I'm shocked if I get a great game from this company at this point. And yeah, and I'm gonna end it here by saying that ABK deal was a bad move because clearly they're still trying to recuperate from the massive money that they had to sink into getting that game or to getting those games, Call of Duty mainly, that was already multiplayer. It was already multiplayer everywhere. PlayStation fans could play it, PC fans could play it, Steam, anywhere you could play Call of Duty. But Microsoft had to come in and say, "No, we want that," and the game is still everywhere. I don't get it. But I'm gonna end it there and come back later.
Okay. K-Bomb, go ahead, take the floor.
I give condolences as well. I work in the tech field, so I understand how volatile the tech field is right now. A lot of places are cutting back. A lot of places went overboard during COVID, and did a lot of hiring because at that point, software and technology was the place to be. We've seen over the past 3 years, studios cut back, and just technology companies as a whole cut back. And so my condolences to them as well. Just a quick update on Microsoft. So Microsoft as a whole, talking about Microsoft as a whole, in the past 3 years, they have 3 to 4 years, they have laid off 30 to 40,000 people.
That's crazy.
Good Lord.
I'm gonna be silent. Just let that sink in.
That's crazy.
30 to 40,000 people in the last 3 years. I just did some research on it before I talked. Not all of that is from the gaming division. I think, not all of that's from the gaming division.
9,000.
Well, not 9,000 to this year. Sorry, 9,000 was from the past 3 years, or just
I know.
the recent
I just
layoff?
remember I shared that in the chat that a person posted
Okay.
that Microsoft was laid off. No, they said it in the comment section here that Microsoft was laid off.
Yes.
9,000
Xbox Studios.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about the past 3 years.
So the past 3 years, yes, it's 30 to 40,000 within the past 3 years. But that's Microsoft. That's not Xbox.
I'm talking about Xbox.
It's Microsoft.
Yeah. I think
Xbox is probably about. It sounds about right. Some 9,000 sounds about right. And so I mean, it's not good. But that when you're in the business of acquiring companies, not building companies, not building things from the ground up, when you are in the business of acquiring companies, you do a lot of trimming the fat. And there's a lot of fat to be trimmed, especially when you bring these companies into your organization. And there's a lot of movement that I'm seeing, even within the tech field that I'm currently a part of. There's a lot of moving from, and this is more on the Microsoft side, not the Xbox side, where they're moving from full-time workers on American soil to foreign companies, offshore resources, because offshore resources it's much cheaper to handle. And so I guess my point is just to give an overview of how it looks in the entire industry, because I definitely try to keep an eye on it, because I know even the company I work for is still doing layoffs this year. And I think there's another round even for us. So even for me, I need to be careful and mindful of those layoffs because, at any time. But it sucks. Video game it is a medium where you have to have success to stay afloat. And even then, as we saw with what game was that? The rhythm game that you like, Keith, that the Xbox did.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush. Even with success, it's not guaranteed that your studio is going to stay in business. And so it's tough, but this is not an Xbox issue, right? To me, this is a software, not software, but a technology issue. But let's talk about Perfect Dark. I think it sucks that Perfect Dark is no longer with us. I know a lot of people are excited. I played Perfect Dark on the 64 back in the day. I thought it was a very cool game. Even then, I wasn't into the console wars. It was a good game. I played it. I didn't care where I played it at. But I played Perfect Dark back in the day. Thought it was a fun game. Thought it was unique. And I know a lot of people were very interested in it coming back. And was very excited for Microsoft to be the one to bring it. And it sucks. Because not only are we losing Perfect Dark, there was a Rare game, a game that Rare was working on that was cut, that was canceled. Their open world game, Everwild, there were layoffs in Turn 10 Studios and ZeniMax Online Studios. King, which is Candy Crush, had layoffs. Raven Studios, which is some of the minds behind Call of Duty, had layoffs. Some in the Halo studio team had layoffs, and other studios like High Moon and Sledgehammer also had layoffs. And so, it layoffs affects the quality of the product as well. So even for those studios who are not canceling the game, it does affect the quality of the product. And so it sucks because that Microsoft is probably let's say Xbox. Xbox Studios is probably making more money than they kind of ever have with this whole multi-plat type of strategy. Also with this Game Pass type of setup, but it sucks that people are still losing their jobs in the wake of movement of these big companies. These big companies are about making shareholders happy, and shareholders are happy when profit lines are at their highest. And so that means the quickest way to get those profit lines, and I think we kind of talked about this when we were talking about is Mario Kart a AAA game or whatever. We talked about how much money, how much budget is salary, and it's around 60%, 60 to 70% of a game's budget, a studio's budget is just salary. So the quickest way to increase profit margin, it isn't making a great game. It isn't making the game sell well. It's cutting staff, and it sucks. But that's the industry we are a part of, and that's why it is important to support games, support devs whenever you can.
Okay, that's good take on both of you guys. So like I said, we got to look at this from several different angles. One is Perfect Dark itself. Then it's Microsoft Xbox as a company and what they're doing. So first of all, like you guys, I send my condolences to all those who have either lost their job or being relocated or whatever. Man, it's just sad. I think all of us have experienced losing a job unexpectedly. Whether like Keith was saying, the company downsized and you had to figure it out, or unjustly fired or whatever. I mean, we have all been there. It don't feel good at all. So yeah, prayers go out to all the individuals that are impacted by this. I'm gonna start first with Perfect Dark and what's the name of the studio again? It's not in front of me, and it ain't the studio I'm ready for.
Initiative.
The Initiative Studio, that collaboration between, I got Crystal Dynamics and Microsoft, I take. I said this to Keith and K-Bum, but I would think it was me and Keith was kind of talking in the chat. And I was looking at the footage, and I said, man, I don't even believe this was a real game. I think this footage was created to create a buzz for a system that wasn't moving. And I sent that to Keith, and Keith hit me back with a voice audio and said, "Level, that's a very interesting take. That may be true." And then he sent me this one right here, and we kind of got confirmation that video sizzle wheel wasn't even real, as I suspected. And I believe it was just to try to create some buzz because Microsoft was in a dire position, and they needed something to possibly jump or jolt their fan base or interest towards them. So they used a very popular and known IP, created to me a sizzle wheel about it, talked about it coming, and the rest is history. I don't believe it was ever a real thing. But so that's sad, but I think about Beyond Good and Evil too. That sizzle wheel that Ubisoft did that we all was like, wow, but we haven't seen anything about that game since. And I think that trailer is what, at least 6-7 years old now. But going to Microsoft, I understand. Okay, so Microsoft has bought a lot of different stuff. They have brought it into the Xbox world with Bethesda, with Activision, Blizzard. What was the other one they acquired? It was
Bethesda,
Activision, Blizzard, and was it another one? Thought it might have been one more, maybe not. But that's a lot of growth. So I think it's as sad as it is, I'm going to give a slight nod of understanding to a company acquiring all these different companies and expanding. So you might have to shrink in that expansion. You're going to shrink for overhead and for, like K-Bum said, investors and all that type of stuff. My problem is with Microsoft them is the heartlessness in how they go about it. Like, K-Bum, you literally just said 30,000.
30 to 40.
30 to 40,000. And I think it was, who said it in here? Was it, somebody said it up. I think it was Comic Book Crunch, or it was, who made that post? I'm trying to go through. One of them said 9,000. Xbox has laid off 9,000, which is more than Nintendo whole creation all their employees. So one thing I think the problem is we got to get a handle on. They got to get a handle on the budgeting of these games and how many people that they actually need, because I think it's getting so enormous that, like K-Bum said, if you got a game that costs this freaking much to make, and it kind of goes back to something me and you was talking about, Keith, where they was kind of, I think it was Dr. Trey, was showing how in Street Fighter 6 on the PlayStation 5 it has a certain it's had this feature that they added that actually probably takes more to run it, but it made it look worse than other versions. Like, you trying to get all of Unreal Engine, every build, every realistic, all this stuff, you trying to get every morsel out of it. So you spending all this money to make these games look these certain way, and then when you get done with your budget, marketing, and all this stuff, this game literally has to sell so much to even to break even.
Right.
And then once you even break even, Hi-Fi Rush, you still get shut down because it wasn't enough. And it wasn't because you didn't make a good game. It wasn't because you wasn't brilliant at what you did. It's literally because the expectations are so lofty in what you need to make a profit, is almost impossible if you're not certain IP. So I think it's the ideology with gaming right now that's the problem. That maybe we are doing too much and requiring big studios to do all that stuff, and then when they don't achieve what you're looking for, now they got to be looking for another job, not because they didn't do a good job, but because you did so much to make that game, you got to make so much back, and every game is not moving 20 and 30 million copies. It's not only a few games are doing what Grand Theft Auto 5 did. Only a few games are doing what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did. Only a few games are doing what Breath of the Wild did, or I can't even name too many that's even up there in those 30s and 40 million copies. Like, not that many games is, I think games still sell at 12, 13 million. That's good, but that can get you closed in today's climate. You know, so I think the philosophy got to change, man. Like I said, I understand to an extent some of the layoffs. You consolidated, you trying to, you know, that's a lot to bring in under house and pay off.
Trim the fat.
You got to trim the fat. But then some of this is just overly ambitious development of games. And I know, but not every game has to be that. Like looking at Sony, we're going to talk about them in a second, but the fact that we don't even have any games for these over ambitious ideas with hero shooters and free to play, and now you got a $400 million game that you just canceling. Like, I think that's the problem, the philosophy. And you're going to see more of this type of stuff rather than just being a little bit more reserved. And I said this to you too, K-Bum and Keith in the chat. And to me, the creativity is gone. In the pursuit of all this, these studios are under crunch. They under pressure, so they're not willing to take risk. So you're not willing to make that game that may be your heart and where your creativity, your desire, your ambition is. You got to make that game that you know that's going to bring back the money. So you're going to get another Call of Duty. You're going to get another this. You're going to get another that, because that's already proven to sell. You losing look at all the games we have lost. And like if you go back to, somebody put up all the generations up here. You go back to 6th gen. Go back to PlayStation 2. And think about all the games that we had on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox and the GameCube. Specifically PlayStation 2. Streets. Blitz. Like, all these multiple basketball games from multiple companies. Multiple football games. Then EA come up and buy up and come into an agreement with NFL. Now all you can get is Madden. So I think it's the philosophy. I think it's shrinking and stifling the creativity and the willingness to take risk on games, and then so we left with what we got, and then people get burnt out, and then you got the free to play that's act like a Marvel's Rivals that's free to play, and I ain't got to pay nothing for that, and it's better than a lot. But most of that is created. Those are coming from people that's not under any pressure. They able to make what they want to make, and people love it. Fortnite is a game that I think was a what they call it, a game somebody made it that they wanted to make that game. They not under no pressure. You got this crazy creative game. But all these other games that we unseen for the last 2 decades, or not decades, 3 generations, how many Call of Duties, how many Maddens, how many, after a while you're going to get burnt out, you know, and people looking for other things to play. But anyway, that's my thought. I think it's the philosophy. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
Yeah, I think it's the philosophy too. I'll be quick, K-Bum.
No, go ahead. Take your time.
When it comes to Xbox, I'm gonna give Phil Spencer a little grace, just a little bit, not much, because I'm still gonna give it to him. but just a little grace, because I think they can't be the studio. They can't be the Xbox that we believe that they can be. Like you said, with the creativity, because creativity doesn't necessarily line the pocketbooks. You know what I'm saying? They looking for a guaranteed line in the pocketbooks, and I think he's getting a lot of pressure from the suits of Microsoft, and he has to follow suit. And the gamer that's within him and the things that we want to see as far as the game side, they just not going to allow Microsoft to be that. And I think this is the company that we're left with. Now, I'm not going to say all the decisions have been strictly on Microsoft. I think internally, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, I think they've made some poor decisions too. But you can tell, and me and Nia was talking about this earlier, you can tell by their body language sometimes they don't even want to deliver the messages that they have to deliver to us, because it's like, I don't want to tell these people this, because I know as a gamer, because Phil Spencer is a gamer, as a gamer, I know what I want, but they're not allowing me to do that, even though I'm the CEO of Xbox. But I'm still not allowed.
Let me send a shout out to Alan Steve. What's up, Alan Steve? Before you go into the movies, thank you for tuning in, Chariot Man. All right, finish your thought, Pete.
Yeah, but they're just not allowed to be that company that we want them to be. And I think that sucks, because I think they want to make great products. I think they want to make the Perfect Darks and what was it? What was the other game? Everwild or whatever. They want to make those games. Yeah. They want to do these things. I believe they want to do them, and they want the fans to be happy. But they have to go out and talk about Game Pass and hardware. Speaking of hardware, if they really want to trim the fat, let's let it go. Let the hardware go. Get rid of all of that. Nobody, like, if their whole thing is this is an Xbox, they have to stop talking about, oh, we're still making hardware. Shut up. We don't care. We only want to play your games wherever. If you want to put it on PlayStation, you want to put it on Nintendo, put your games over there. We'll play them. But if you really talking about trimming the fat, that's where I would trim the fat at. But go ahead, K-Bon.
Yeah, their hardware decisions have been confusing for a while now, because before they made the Xbox Series X, they were pushing cloud gaming, and then all of a sudden they came out with, we're going to create the most powerful system that's ever created, right? Like, but you just told me I don't need a powerful system with cloud gaming. Like, what direction are you going to go? And then you say, I'm going to give you the most powerful system a console ever created, and then you create the Xbox Series S, where 60% or whatever higher percentage of your gamers are buying that. And I'm like, what are you? What is your identity? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to produce? What is the purpose? What's the point? You're making these systems, but you're giving off all these different feelings, and now it's the whole, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, but you're still wanting to create Xboxes. So I don't know. I some of their approach, I like some of the things that Microsoft is doing. I do like, and I think they're putting themselves in the future. And some of the stuff they're doing is still confusing to me, and it doesn't make full sense. But I agree with you, Level, because this is something that we saw really heavy around the PS3 era to the PS4 era, where we saw nothing but sequels. Everyone was afraid to do a new IP. Everybody. And so we saw sequel after sequel after sequel. We saw Assassin's Creed after Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty after Call of Duty. This is when it really, after all the THQ failed, yeah, that's one for you. After THQ failed and all those, mid-tier developers kind of crashed and the market crashed, the only thing we got were sequels. And when you're focused on profit margins, the creativity does suffer, because what's best for profit margins is safe.
Yeah.
Being safe, creating something that is familiar, familiar. This is why Sony made. This is why Sony's in the position they're in, because profit margins said create open world games, create all these. What the game they created that crashed the week after it launched? I forget the name of that game. Concord. Yes, the map said create a bunch of Concords because that's where the money is. That's where people are buying. People are spending money on those type of games, and so every game was going to become that type of game, and because that was the air quote safe bet, because that's what the industry wanted, and Sony lost that bet, right? And creativity, we talked about, love was talking about creativity. Creativity went down the drain because now every game is this same type of game, and you're not taking the chances that you used to take on some of your IPs. And Sony is good for creating a new IP and making that successful. They've done that in the past. They've created these. Horizon was a brand new IP made by a team that was making nothing but sequels. Killzone. And they went out on a limb and created a brand new IP, and it turned out to be one of their best hits. And even the God of War 2018 wasn't just a sequel. They took a chance. They changed the formula. But when you're focused on profit margin, creativity fails. And I think Level is spot on with that. And I totally agree with the statement.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at this Beyond Good and Evil 2 from Ubisoft that we got back in 2017, and
it's been that long, bro.
Right. So and it's like we was never going to see. You look at this game now and you realize, man, this was absolutely cap. There ain't no games that look this good now. And this was back in 2017. My thing is, but. And you look at what Ubisoft
just make the movie. Just make the movie, Ubisoft.
And you look at what Ubisoft is right now. You know, you look at what's going on with all these companies to where, like a company like EA, you can't even, like, what do they make? Now you got Madden, you got FIFA or soccer, whatever they call it now. You have
college football.
Battlefield.
College football.
College football,
Battlefield. It's been a while since Battlefield has been out. It's been a while.
I'm just trying to name all the games that we know that they still somewhat make.
Star Wars.
Star Wars. That's what I was trying to get to. Star Wars. And what else? What else does EA have?
EA invests in indie studios. So like the Split Fiction.
Okay. Did they make that, or did they publish it?
They put the money for it, so that's EA. They put the money up for it, so it's EA. It is EA.
Okay, so but you look back, just EA alone. You look back in the day with EA, man, it's like night and day from then to now. It's night and day from Ubisoft then to now. It's night and day with a lot of these. I would say the only one that seemed to be still kind of doing what they do, maybe Capcom. Like do we hear a lot of layoffs at Capcom? A lot of these Japanese studios. Or Eastern studios, let me say it like that.
Yeah, Eastern studios. Yeah.
Western studios are shutting down, laying folks off left and right in Eastern studios. And if you look at the games and you look at what the Eastern studios is going for, they are way more creative.
And then they're less focused on graphics too.
Right.
I mean, they have good graphics, but they're less focused on graphics.
That's my point. That's why I'm leveraging creativity, and I was about to offset it with what the Western does. For where they may not go for the most realistic hair, they leverage their creativity in that area more so than relying on some graphical thing that, wow, look how real that looked. They go for the more of a creative approach. You got to look at Ninja Gaiden. Ninja Gaiden, as beautiful as it look, I don't think it's not technically, probably not pushing nothing crazy hard. But Ninja Gaiden 4 looks amazing. Booty Blade, Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is a good looking game, but I bet you it's not as technically as straining as something that you can name somewhere else in a Western game. So I think it's the philosophy, I believe, because a lot of these Western studios are the ones that's closing.
The chat GPT that West Eastern Studio Gaming Studio versus Western Studios, and it says Western Studios in the past 3 years is 25 to 30,000 layoffs. Eastern Studios in that same time frames is at most about 5,000.
Right, which that's natural, that's normal. So, like, it's the philosophy, man. It's the philosophy with if you look at, like, okay, we not trying to make this no council war stuff, but just in the conversation of East and West, you look at Nintendo. They don't have a lot of layoffs. But when you was watching the DK Bonanza breakdown of what they did in the creation, you find, Digital Foundry brought this out, and I think a few others did, that a lot of the techniques that was used to make DK and to mask things in the games draw all the way back to the N64 with Mario 64. Still doing some of those same old tricks. And I remember, I think it was either Oliver or Alex said it'd be nice to see Nintendo add a lot of these newer techniques and utilize these newer, and like those are the techniques that's causing a lot of these Western studios to shut down because it costs so much money. And I'm not saying that this is not at Alex, I'm just using it as a to give some color to what I'm talking about. He was saying he would want to see Nintendo actually graduate to use better techniques, better lighting, better audio. And I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of what we do in the West and what Western games have a whole litany of, but makes the games extremely expensive, both monetarily and CPU and GPU. It's costing on the GPU and it's costing in the pocket. And these studios is closing left and right, but then when you look in the East, and they not doing a lot of these things. They using some of these older tricks, older ways, and just making it look better and being more creative. They got all type of games coming out, and they looking even. Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy has been one of the best looking games, even all the way back on the regular PlayStation. Just based on the generation, it was always one of the premier, to me, one of the premier titles. Like you mentioned, Capcom with the Resident Evil titles, they've always seemed to look very, very modern, realistic graphics, but they're, like you said, they're using older techniques. But I do want to say this, because you brought up Nintendo, and just looking at how they do things on a whole. You remember when Wii U was floundering and 3DS was suffering? What did Satoru Iwata do? He cut his own pay. He took a pay cut. All of them dudes took a pay cut so that they could funnel that back into
they could weather the storm.
They could weather the storm, and they funneled the creativity, and they was able to withstand. Now, were they doing like gangbuster numbers? No, but they were able to keep their ship afloat. And the Eastern philosophy, they're not perfect, but the Eastern philosophy seems like it's community. They seem to really care about the individuals that's working under them, and the individuals under them feel that from the top. So it's kind of a community collaboration, and that's why you see a lot of these studios like the Bandai Namcos, and they come together and they just start making magic and all this other stuff, because it's like a sense of community over there where they just, I don't know, it's just they kind of on the same wavelength. Whereas the Western, and I don't want to just talk crap about the West, but just based on those numbers that K-Bone brought out, it seemed like it's visual first, dollar, and then the people who made the game, like whatever it is, what it is, like the Hi-Fi Rush team, like the philosophy must change in this gaming industry, and then maybe there's signs of it changing. I know we're gonna talk about another game moving around. Well, maybe we'll see some change coming up here soon.
Yeah. I'm looking at Ninja Gaiden 4 here. And you look at companies like or studios like, is it Eversoft? Is that with all the Souls games?
Is that Eversoft?
What's the name of that? Is it Eversoft? What's the name of that makes what's the game I don't be playing? Elden Ring. Who makes Elden Ring? And Demon Souls. What's that company?
You talking about FromSoft?
FromSoft. I said Eversoft. FromSoft. All right. FromSoft. Look at the graphics. Matter of fact, let me just pull it up. The graphics don't be bleeding edge, but those games are beloved, right? And the graphics are not bleeding edge at all. You know, they very simplistic. But for whatever reason, people love the games. Like you constantly getting, like K-Bump said, I'm sick of all these Souls games. But I think because while they look good, they ain't trying to be no graphical showpiece, but it's good enough to where it is standard and people are satisfied with the visuals, and they more come for what they're getting out of the game, not necessarily, man, look at the buildings off in the distance and how realistic it look. They're not trying to do Grand Theft Auto 6. That's why we haven't received another Grand Theft Auto for almost 3 generations now? Because the last Grand Theft Auto probably took so much to make. Y'all better enjoy that for the next 13 years as we work on your next. You can't try to bring games of that ilk with that price tag every year or every other year. You're going to go broke. That's why you don't get. You haven't got to. Listen, look at this, y'all. And I'm getting passionate. Let me calm down. We haven't seen Grand Theft Auto in 3 generations. They sold us Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3, Xbox One. Xbox 360. No. When didn't it come out on the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4?
PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3.
PlayStation 3.
The end of the PS3.
Yeah, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X. Jesus, Lord, Xbox, get your names together. PlayStation 5, PC, same game. Modded, everything. You got Grand Theft Auto 5, and it made all their money back, and now you're getting Grand Theft Auto 6. Because 2K is not being stupid. We're not going to be spending billions of dollars on all these graphics and all this stuff and then leave it out there and put another one in 2 years with the same budget. Why you think they closing? You just put a $500 million game out there and you killed it with a part 2 a year and a half later. Ubisoft Assassin's Creed. These are $200-300 million games you making. And you got to make all that, a $2-3 million game to develop plus market. So you got about a $500 million game out there that you only give a year and a half on the shelves, and you cutting the price within months to move it. Yes, you're going to lose. You're going to have to cut staff. Yes, you're going to have to close studios because y'all games are too expensive. And they don't carry the value nor the weight of you. You are not Grand Theft Auto. You're not some of these evergreen titles. You're not an Odyssey. You're not a Uncharted. And that's what Microsoft and Sony does to me. That's so stupid. You kill your own franchises. Why are you killing these people? It's the philosophy, man. Mega Man is almost 2 million years old. Mario is 90 years old. We got Mario in every type of IP you can name. You can't leverage. To me, it's the philosophy of the West. That's what it boils down to me. It's the philosophy, and their philosophy is broken, and they don't value they don't value. Especially Microsoft, but Sony too. They don't value their IPs enough.
Here's a great example. Remember that when Ubisoft made that what was the game, Mario Rabbids?
Yeah.
Mario Rabbids, yeah.
And then they tried to make a sequel, and Nintendo was like, hey, why don't you wait till the Switch 2 and put that on there? Nope. They put it out there to die. Like,
Right.
we've had enough of Mario Rabbids. We don't need no more. Like, take your time and really build upon that game. Like, we like the IP, but take your time. We get it. We will get to it. But trying to constantly go back to the well, it's gonna run dry. The
Right.
well is gonna run dry. Stop going back to the well. Like, I love what Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto. Like, K-Bone talks about it all the time about how they basically turned that game into a live service game. I love that. You know, we should see more of that with some of these IPs. Like, you don't need I'm gonna have to throw a shot at Nintendo themselves. I don't think we needed Splatoon 3. I think they could have continued building on Splatoon. I think they could have continued building on Splatoon 2.
We didn't need Splatoon 3. I think we all said that. We got it. K-Bum, it's your fault I own that game right now. But anyway, but I think you're right, man. Some of these games, I think if your budget, if you already clearing $500 million, them games should be like, okay, going back to Nintendo again. I know, and we got to move on. And this is a good segue into Sony with Hellblade or Helldivers, right? We complain about, when you look at the generation, you know that Mario Kart World is the only Mario Kart you getting on the Switch 2. That's it. Not another Mario Kart is coming. That means you know that
not a damn another.
Not a now another, right? That's the only Mario Kart you getting for the whole duration of the Switch 2 is Mario Kart World. Look at Odyssey. 1, you got Odyssey. You didn't get Odyssey 2. 8 years, you got Odyssey. You got 2 Zeldas, but that was really because the first one was a Wii U game and the situation with the Wii U. Typically, you get one of those type of games. You don't get multiple Zeldas in a generation. You don't get multiple Marios we got Mario Galaxy. We got Mario Galaxy 2 was just, huh?
I'm gonna disagree with that. The 64, you got Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Then
you didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. I was going to explain where those games are.
My bad.
So
let the man finish, bro.
Let me cook. So,
hey, don't be careful cutting off level now. Be careful now.
Now, Mario Zelda Majora's Mask was additional. Wasn't it like supposed to be stuff that didn't make that kind of got put on the cutting floor for Ocarina of Time that they turned into something? It wasn't.
I don't know.
I know I think that was the case, but I know that was the case for Galaxy 2. That was more just stages that they want to do, and they added it in and made another game out of it. But they didn't create a new formula. It was almost like, well, you have some outliers. Let me say it like that, Keith, because I know that was one of the games was, I remember Miyamoto saying it was stuff that we had ideas for that didn't make it into the final game that we turned into a game. So you have some outliers, but for the most part, you get one of those titles a generation. How many Uncharted did we get on the PlayStation 3? 3.
Is that right?
Yeah, we got 3, and then we got Uncharted 4 on the PlayStation 4. Uncharted 2, to me, was so freaking good. That's one of my favorite games of all time. You could have waited until the PlayStation 4 to give me another Uncharted. But I got 3, and 3 was trash. 3 was a terrible game because the story was very underwhelming, very rushed game. You could tell that they just wanted to capitalize on the popularity of the IP, not that they had an idea for the game ready. And I think we get a lot of that from Western development. We want to capitalize on the IP, even if the game is not the idea for the next game in the series is not really ready. And I think, again, there's a lot of philosophy with the West that I think is the problem. But anyway, let me let somebody else talk, then we can move on to Helldivers. Does anybody else want to go?
Nah, I think we've done a good job with this topic.
Okay, so as y'all know, continuing with the Western shenanigans, a game that we all loved a lot at one point that I don't understand why we stopped playing, because we was having a good time playing it. I did anyway. Which is Helldivers for the PlayStation 5, is making its way to Xbox now. So in this, it says Arrowhead Game Studios and PlayStation Studios hit co-op multiplayer game Helldivers 2 is coming to the Xbox Series X. Y'all should have the S more highlighted than the X, because the S sold more than the X. Why y'all playing the S down like that? I don't like that, whoever wrote this. Later this year. No, seriously, they say. The news was shared on Thursday during a Helldivers 2 developer stream, which I didn't know anything about, where Chief Creator Officer John Palstead, I don't know how to say his last name, shared the never-ending galactic war is making its way over to Xbox consoles. You can check out the announcement trailer for the port below. So I play it as y'all can see it. As I used to be turn down. Okay. I used to be a PlayStation angry teenager and all in the console war. Today I'm hoping we'll bring all players together, said Alex Boley. I think that's how you say that. Production director on Helldivers 2. He said I was a PlayStation console war nut. Anyway, per the store description, Helldivers 2 is being directly published by PlayStation, meaning this isn't like with the NLB, the show developed by Sony, San Diego, which are published at Xbox by the MLB directly. Sony has embraced bringing PlayStation Studio games to Windows PC. This is the first time the company has directly published a title on Xbox. So basically, Sony is producing this. How you say that? Sony is publishing the game on Xbox as well. So it's a Sony published game coming directly to Xbox, unlike MLB, which they had to put that over there because of the license.
Now, what did it say about it? It said MLB is being what by Xbox? I didn't catch that one.
It said it's unlike. This isn't like with MLB the show developed by Sony San Diego, which are published on Xbox by the NLB directly. So the Major Baseball League made them. Major League Baseball made Sony put that game on Xbox because they pay for its development, even though Sony is making it. So they said it's not. This is Sony literally themselves putting the game on the Xbox. So y'all thoughts with this? K-Bum, I'm gonna let you go first this time.
My thoughts on this. Console wars over. ... Sony has been toying with this for a while.
Okay, Sony has been toying with this for a while. Okay, there he's back.
My bad. Let me. It's my Wi-Fi. Hold on. Give me a quick second.
All right.
I thought that was me.
No, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm back on. Okay, I'm on 5G now. So, Sony has been toying with this idea for a while. You can see this. They were kind of forced with it with MLB. I think they saw profits increase when they were forced to move their baseball game to the Xbox system. Right? We've seen Sony take their first party bangers, which is like Spider-Man and Uncharted and Horizon and Ghost of Tsushima, and put them on the PC. right? We've seen that as well. We've also recently seen them publish a game on Nintendo's console with the Lego Horizon,
Yeah.
which was published on the Nintendo system. What we haven't seen is them publish something on Xbox's system, and this caught me by surprise. Um, that this is the route that they would take. I don't believe it. One caveat with this is that this studio is not a first party studio with Sony. I don't believe they're first party. Um, I think Sony helps fund this studio, but this studio isn't a first party studio. So that's one caveat, but this is still a published Sony game going to Xbox, which is going to be the beginning, most likely the beginning of many others. And this is what some of the Sony fanboys were. I mean, not this, but when Xbox was doing it to Sony, the Sony fanboys were like, "See, we're going to play all your games, and you can't have ours." Well, that may not be true anymore. For you Sony fans who were doing all that dancing around, doing all that gloating, saying "ha ha ha ha," yeah. These studios are trying to make money, and so we actually talked about we don't know we so during the Summer Game Fest we talked about how Xbox is positioning themselves and how they're positioning themselves for the future, and we talked about how Nintendo is seeing success in this mobile gaming, how they're kind of being the leaders in that space, right? And we talked about how we really didn't see how Sony was going to fit into this new type of gaming. Uh, Even with this move, I think Sony is still behind. I think Sony is still. I don't. This doesn't put them in the forefront. I still think as we talk about the future, as of right now, Sony's killing it. I mean, even without putting first party titles out there, they're killing it right now. But when we're talking about the future, this move to me still doesn't put them in the driver's seat. I think they're still behind Microsoft with that. But for me, as being a Sony fan, I I honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me. I am a person that I will buy an Xbox if there's a game on there that I can't get anywhere else. I've said that many times, and because I would, because I've done it. I've done it with several Xboxes. So I don't fit the mode of the fanboy. I'm not fighting for Sony to win at all costs. I don't care. It's a corporate conglomerate that's going to cut jobs whenever they feel like they want to make more money. So I'm not fighting for Sony, but this is to me a bad look on Sony because it feels like Sony is again doing that Me Too thing. They're doing that I can do it too thing, and I think they've seen because the purpose of this and the kind of the CEO said this is for profit margins. This is to increase profit margins, and they're kind of selling themselves and bowing down to make more money. And I think this is where it's going to go. It does make me regret one thing, and Keith, you may agree with me on this one. This makes me miss one thing, and I don't know if you can get where I'm going, Keith. It makes me miss Stadia. If Stadia was here, Stadia would have all the Xbox games and all the Sony games.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And something like that. I know Stadia is air quote PC, but it's not PC. It's air quote PC, but it's not PC. But something like that, because it takes away the issues you have with PC, where updating graphic cards, the CPU, power management, whatever you want to call drivers and update, blah, blah, blah. It removes all that. So it functions like a console. But it makes me miss it because Sony games, will be playable because Google will put money. I think they came too early, Keith. They were just too early to the market, and I think that it came at this point. They would have positioned themselves very well. They wouldn't even have the need to have first party studios because remember, Boulder Gate was a game that they were publishing, Boulder Gate 3, and so I don't know. It makes me miss Stadia, but yeah, this is Sony. Trying to play catch up, trying to make more money, more profit. That's the CEO who left. That's what he talked about, was making more money. That's the whole reason why they're doing the PC, getting the game into more gamer hands. That's the direction they're going to go. That's the direction they're going to continue to go. And it seems like they're pulling in Xbox fans who don't buy games, but apparently they're going to experiment with that. So we'll see.
All right, Keith.
Man. I think Level stepped away. I'll go ahead and go.
I said, go ahead.
I couldn't. We didn't hear words.
We didn't hear you.
Words you said.
Okay, my bad.
Oh man. So just Stadia. Oh my god. Why'd you have to say that?
Bro, you feel me though, right? You feel me though, right?
I do feel. But my son still used that controller. I had two of those.
It was a good controller. It was a good controller. It was good.
He used it. He used it on Roblox. So Sony, like K-Bone said, they've already been putting their games elsewhere outside of the Sony PlayStation hardware. 2015, we got the first Helldivers. I didn't know anything about it, but it was on PC. And in 2020, I think that's when the levy broke, and they saw the profits. And Horizon Zero Dawn made its way to the PC in 2020. 2021, Days Gone. 2022, God of War. I'm going to read all these. Spider-Man 2022. The Uncharted Collection 2022. Sackboy Big Adventure 2022. For all those Mario 3D World lovers, I think this game is very similar. Miles Morales 2022. There's a lot of games in 2022 coming from Sony. My goodness. Returnal 2023, Last of Us 2023, Ratchet and Clank Nia 2023, Helldivers 2 2024, and that's where we are. And there's more. I'm just gonna stop there because that's the talking point. I think Helldivers is a great game. Level, I don't know why we stopped playing. We just didn't keep playing, but that doesn't mean that the game was bad.
I think it's K-Bone that stopped us from playing, man. Made us buy Splatoon. Then our fearless leader didn't want to lead us no more. K-Bone always try to. K-Bone was always trying to take the lead. You never go for that too. I'm like, dude, stop bossing me around. I'm older than you, sir.
Man, just do what I tell you to do, brother.
But no, Helldivers 2. Great game. I think it's like to me, the way I viewed it was like a souped up horde mode. And I love that. We even got a chance to play with Nia once. But yeah. Anyways, we got a chance.
That's true.
So I think this is the perfect game to bring over to Microsoft's Xbox ecosystem. I think this is the perfect game because I think Xbox gamers, if they haven't played this game already, will definitely enjoy this and eat this game up. And at this point, like K-Bone said, you can call the console wars dead. It's over. Like we don't need to fight no more. Because what you have been saying for months now that these studios will not do, and they won't do that, and they'll do this. They're going to do what they want to do to make money. And that's the bottom line. They're going to do what it is to make money. Because Stone Cold says, I will go on record right now. Maybe not in the near future, but let's say something happened with Nintendo and they had to start putting their games on PC. Guess what I'm buying on PC? You think I'm finna be in the streets? I'm buying Nintendo games on PC. You think I'm finna be in the streets mad and yelling to the stars? No, it can't be. No. Because at the end of the day, we just want to be able to play games. And like I said, I think Helldivers is the perfect game to bring over to Xbox, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see more. I could see a Horizon coming over because, like that Lego Horizon game that came over to the Switch randomly out of nowhere. Like, why? So I can see that coming over too. And I was looking for a tweet from Colin Moriarty. I can't find it, and I'm gonna see if I can paraphrase it. But he said something to the effect of, "Why would Sony help the competition who is losing? Like, they're the ones floundering. Well, they would never put a game like Helldivers specifically, because I think Phil Spencer had actually said, Helldivers, come on over. He wanted that
Yeah,
particular
he
game to
did
come
say
over.
that. He when he announced all those games coming going to Sony, he did say that. You're right.
Yep.
I forgot about
He
that.
wanted that game, and I think that spurred a talking point. And I think Colin Moriarty and his team over there, what's their? I can't think of the name of their podcast or the name of their thing now. But he was like, "Why would Sony do that? They're not in the position for that. So Microsoft isn't in a position for that." And here we are. That's why I'm always careful not to
I
say
forgot
what
about that. You're right.
That's why I'm always I always try to make sure I don't say like absolutes, like, "Oh, they will never do this, they will never do that," because then you got to come back to the internet and say, "Well, dang, they did it."
Oh, right.
These companies,
Man, I know a group that did that exact thing you talked about. Anyway, let me not do that. Go ahead. I'm listening.
You finish
I'm
it.
listening. I'm just listening to Keith preach, man. He preaching. I'm like, I agree. You should never say absolutes.
Please keep that in the comment section. Let's keep that
You
over
should
there
never
in the
speak in
chat.
absolutes.
now he's talking about opinions. Anyways,
Go ahead.
no, I wouldn't. That's why I'm always careful. Did I find it? I thought I found it. But yeah, but this is what it is, man. I've seen a lot of PlayStation guys crashing out today.
Crashing out.
And I don't want to get caught slipping on the internet like that. Like, I'm not gonna be crashing out over Mario coming to the PC. I'm not doing it. Like, if this is what they got to do to continue to give me the games that I enjoy, and I can still enjoy them on the platform that I still want to enjoy them on, it is okay. Because they could just stop making the game altogether. They could just in production, like, we'll never get another one of these, and you'll be sitting there mad. So kudos to Microsoft and Sony for getting this done and taking steps to basically end the console war, and people are now able to play games across platforms like they should have. And it's gonna be cross multiplayer, right? What is it called? Cross platform multiplayer. Crossplay, yeah.
Crossplay. Yeah, it would be.
But yeah. So I think this is a fantastic move. I think it's a dope move. And I can't, but when something like what's the game? The Last of Us come over. I mean, I know the internet is gonna blow up, but I can see it happening. But multiplayer makes sense right now. So kudos to them for making the business move.
Man, Nintendo better not put no first party anywhere else. I'm crashing out. Anyway, man, have y'all noticed that a lot of these old games, like style games, are making a resurgence? Streets of Rage 4, Ninja Turtles. Now you got Shinobi, you got Ninja Gaiden. Like, you got a lot of these side scrollers. Like K-Bum is into Prince of Persia, side scroller with those old aesthetics in it. Like, I'm watching this trailer. There's a lot of this stuff coming back, making a resurgence with new gamers. I don't know if y'all noticing that, but it is. But anyway, let me get my 2 cents.
Can I do this? I found a tweet.
Go ahead. I got it up.
No. I'm talking about what Colin Moriarty said.
Okay.
He said the Helldivers 2 to Xbox rumor begs a question: what could PlayStation possibly gain by selling in an ecosystem with with catering. What do you say? Cratering hardware sales.
Darkwing.
Oh,
What he said.
with cratering hardware sales and an audience that buys few games. Why throw a lifeline to a struggling competitor? Why create PR and marketing issues for low revenue? Well, Colin, welcome to 2025. It's
and
happening.
this right here.
Slap yourself.
Give me a good old slap yourself.
Stupid.
So, I mean, I said it in the chat as soon as I think I shared it and I said it in the chat. I said, Me Too strikes again. But I'm not mad at it. Make money. You know what I'm saying? Make money. And both these companies need it. While Sony may be doing better than Microsoft, Sony has a lot of plastic out there right now. A lot of plastic that Microsoft making a lot of money on. Let's just be real here. Microsoft has literally cornered the market with all the third-party titles that they have now. So it only makes sense that Sony's like, look, we making money on PC is another avenue for us to bring in residuals. So why limit it there? You know what I'm saying? I notice how they've been doing it. They, like, even with their first party with PC, they not putting a day and date, which I believe that may change at some point too. They giving it a little time on the PlayStation before they port it over to PC. Helldivers been on the PlayStation for a while. Now it's coming to the Xbox. It's going to rejuvenate the IP. You know what I'm saying? With new players coming in, the community is going to have new excitement, and Sony's going to make money. So it's smart business. But in this season of time, like y'all said, you can't play with budgets like they have today. You got to make money, and you got to keep that money coming in if you want to stay above water, so kudos to them. And all the Sony fans who clowned and joked and laughed at Phil. I remember us on here. We got to be honest. There was some slights coming. Hey, you would want Helldivers, but hey, Phil was on to something, and I'm not mad at it. And if as long as I can play, I mean, if Nintendo decides to put Zelda somewhere else, as long as I get to play it, I don't really care. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't care. I just don't like not being able to play it. So don't take it away from my system. But if you're going to put it somewhere else, as long as it's still coming to my system of choice, I'm going to play. I'm fine with somebody else enjoying it. I don't understand why you would be mad at somebody enjoying a game that you can still enjoy yourself. I don't get that. That's a little too much. So, yeah, you're right, Darkwing Dragon. Just to add a little spice in here, Nintendo did win. he said so basically the console war is over and Nintendo won. I agree. let me be biased there and say I agree with you, sir. So let's get into this last subject. Okay, before we say that. So, do we perceive first party? Do we see The Last of Us at some point showing his face on the Xbox, on the something like that? Do we see a God of War? Do we see,
all of it?
Okay, all right. I'm just making sure.
So I don't know if the whole slate coming yet, but
Same thing. Microsoft was saying.
I said eventually.
No, it's gonna be here.
Okay, I just wanted to know. So let's get into this last subject, and I want to pull up a few things so that we can talk about it. So as y'all can see, Nintendo is selling pretty freaking well, right? Right now, the Switch 2, there was some leak data of sales figures that turned out Nintendo came and actually talked about that, but we're going to read it. So Switch 2 has already overtaken the combined live sales of the entire Xbox Series Family, and PlayStation 5 Pro in Japan. Thank you, Nintendo Life, for making it a console war with this this heading. I didn't read it. We just said the console war is over, not to Nintendo Life. But anyway, this, the Switch 2 is off to an amazing start all over the world. But in Japan, its success has been especially remarkable. It's already the fastest selling console in the nation's history, outperforming even the mighty PlayStation 2 with 3,131 consoles sold at launch. The Switch 2 overtook the 552,000 set by Sony's second PlayStation, or PlayStation 2. Let's say PlayStation 2. We now have the console's second week figures in, which makes for some interesting reading. The hybrid system first week momentum has slowed, and as you might expect, but it has now sold 1,136 systems in its homeland. So 1 million million systems have sold.
Words are hard.
I know. 1.1 million systems have sold. I was trying to narrow it down, not to read all that. This robust performance means the Switch 2 has already outsold the combined lifetime sales of the entire Xbox Series family in Japan, including the Xbox Series X at 300,000 and the Series S at 337,000 with some change, and the Series X at 20,000. Dang, the Series X is not moving at all. And the PlayStation at 221,000 and some change. So here's the full table, which we ain't got to read all that. Y'all see it? And that's even up from there now. So the Switch 2 is doing well, both in America, let me see, and in the East. So the reports is right now the Switch 2 may have sold around 5.4, 5.6 million to date, which will make it still the fastest selling system of all time in the fastest time. So let's have our dialogue on this. What's your thoughts? I'll bring Keith in first on this since we gave K-Bun the floor the last subject. Keith, what's your thoughts here, man?
It's number one. Congratulations, Nintendo. It just shows that people really like the form factor. I think because we all said that the form factor of the original Switch was the reason it sold like it did, and I think the form factor was the right choice again. And the evidence is in the sales. So I just hope that they're able to keep up the momentum and continue to give us surprises and continue to sell well. That's why I'm gonna leave it. Not gonna go in too deep.
All right, K-Bun.
I think it's dope that it's doing what it's doing. That is making it sell. That is overtaking. Well, Xbox is not hard, but the Pro was kind of a flop. But it's good that it's making the sales, that people are, especially in this homeland, that people are interested. Yeah, it only makes good when all three companies doing good, just creates competition. And that's what I enjoy. That's what I like. So I think that's dope.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is dope. It's doing well. I mean, especially when you look at, and I guess this is going to the next part of this conversation. When you look at the level of negativity that surrounded the launch of this system, some self-inflicted, we just got to be honest. $80 Mario Kart was I still think unnecessary. We knew it was going to sell because it's Mario, and I know that's why Nintendo did it, so it is kind of, we just got to be honest, that's a little anti-consumer. Let's just be real. Let's not fake the funk here. $450 system, which I don't think that was bad. with what it's offering you. I think that's very much fair to ask. But then you also got to consider that in Japan, it's a lot cheaper than it is in the States and other places.
This is
so
true.
They do have an incentive with the pricing over there. They made it very appealing with their pricing. I think it's like it's almost like $379, $369, $379 over there. In yen, it'd be considered if we was paying what they was paying in yen, it'd be equivalent to $370 something. So almost $70 less than what we paying. Then so that's a good incentive to get in. So which means they probably could sell it to us for that cheap too, Nintendo. But anyway, so with all that negative stuff, the question was, I saw a video, and I want to bring this into, and we give our takes on it. You know, with all the negative stuff that took place with the Switch 2 at launch, and all the negative media blitz, did the boycott work? Was a question, and we want to discuss. Is that are some making that determination too early that the boycott was a fail? It's yet to be determined. K-Bum, give me your thoughts. Did the boycott work, or is it still to be determined?
I'm gonna say the boycott didn't work. The boycott is there to hurt the early sales of the system. It did not do that. It's still sold very well when it came out. All the yelling, "Don't buy it," didn't matter. They still made their money. Still did what they need to do as far as the Switch. So I'm gonna say no. The boycott did not work. It did not help at all. Nintendo still sold very well for what it was, and so yeah, I'll stand on my loyal and say no.
All right. It was still another part to this conversation that we got to get to that. But Keith, what's your thoughts? Did the boycott work? Yet to be determined. What's your thoughts?
Boycott worked, man. Nintendo out here floundering. No, just wait. No, it didn't work. I think, and the same people that was extremely loud about not going out and supporting Nintendo, they bought one. They have one in their homes while telling you not to do it. So no, I just think that people just wanted to be caught up in the negativity on the internet. Come to my channel, come give me all the views, and I'm gonna tell you why I think the Switch 2 is bad. While I got my pre-order at the same time, so nah, it didn't work. It didn't work.
I'm gonna say the boycott isn't working. I'm gonna say it like that. But Nintendo still in that window of vulnerability. Let's not. While it's selling great, let's not get too high-minded, fellow Nintendo fans. Let's not get overly high-minded. It's still in that sensitive window that, we are you got a lot of fans that still are seeking and trying to find this system. So it can realistically hit 10 million and fizzle out, which I doubt will happen, but that could happen. So I don't want us going look overboard like we won. We winning. Enjoy it.
We are the champions.
That don't mean
my friend.
we out the water yet. We still, Nintendo is not treating us like they have won and it's all over. They treating us like we got to keep some things going. So we need games, which brings me to my next point. So we got to talk about this. Nice train. I thought it was pretty good, Keith. Thank you. So there's been a growing swell of conversation around. We kind of talked about this about 2 weeks ago about the launch lineup with the Switch 2. And was it light? What was the word we used for that? Was it light? I put a post up, and then I started seeing others kind of with the same sentiment, which started a conversation between myself, Keith, and somewhat, I would say K-Bum kind of was just observing me and Keith going back and forth. I think K-Bum, you kind of engaged here and there, but you kind of just let us have this kind of conversation. Now, my thing was, okay, while I am enjoying my Switch 2, and I know somebody's going to try to take what I'm saying and twist it. So I'm enjoying my, I'm going to keep saying it. I am enjoying my Switch 2. I am enjoying my Switch 2. I'm enjoying my Switch 2. But I am noticing that.
Switch 2?
Yeah, I enjoy my Switch 2. I'm enjoying it a whole lot. Okay. You see all the games I played. I'm really enjoying my Switch 2. And Mario Odyssey has, man, y'all better be, shoot, I wish I wouldn't have turned to that. Now I'm back in. But anyway, on that day, I had this kind of thought like, man, something is missing. And while I'm enjoying my Switch 2, there is something I want. So I was rummaging through the eShop. I'm like, what am I looking for? Why am I in the eShop? I got Street Fighters. I have Cyberpunk. I have Mario Kart World. I have all these games. I have Fusion. What am I looking for? Why am I here? And I kept going back and looking at Donkey Kong Bonanza. I was like, that's what I want right there. That's the experience I want. And, you know, I'm thinking that, and I don't know how you guys feel, and I won't keep me. I already know where Keith's going to take this. There, I can see some of the sentiments with questioning if the system is light, because the only true Switch 2 experience that can only be experienced on the Switch 2 right now is Mario Kart World. Everything else, as great as it is, you can experience it elsewhere. I had Street Fighter 6 on my PlayStation 5. I've been had it. You know, I've been playing that. I didn't buy Split Fiction because I had Split Fiction. I could have been played Cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? So, and that Cyberpunk is not a game. I bought Cyberpunk to support Nintendo and CD Projekt Red because I saw them putting that much work into the game. I wanted to support that third-party title as well as Street Fighters. I saw how good it was, how much work they put into it. I wanted to support Capcom because I want Nintendo to have a thriving third-party offering for my friend K-Bum can have third-party and first-party on the Switch 2 when he go. I want K-Bum to be able to feel at home with the Switch 2. I really do. That's how much I care about my friend. You know, me and Keith, we good with first-party, but K-Bum, he needs a reason to play his Switch 2, and third party is what he needs. K-Bum, do you agree? Anyway, so I bought
that's funny.
Don't do me like that. I bought those two games for that reason, but I'm enjoying Street Fighters, don't get me wrong. But those are pick up, put down games. And I came to realize so is Mario Kart. Mario Kart is a pick-up, put-down game. It's not Breath of the Wild. And you heard a lot of people crying about where is the Breath of the Wild? Where is Mario? And we didn't think DK Bonanza was that. So when I got to thinking about that, I was like, man, yeah, this could be considered a little light from that angle. And I think Keith, you said something that I want you to kind of express and then bring K-Bum in here and then we get out. But yeah, I'm not going to front. Y'all know the Live and Level Gamers podcast, we are honest to a default. Sometimes y'all shouldn't even know we this honest. We try to be neutral. We all have our biases. Yes, I love Nintendo. I've been a fan of Nintendo since the NES. First time I played it, seeing Mario Kart, I was hooked. Mario, I was hooked. I've been a Nintendo fan. But I had to die to the whole console war stuff. But I still have a bias to Nintendo. But I got to be honest. I'm going to be honest. Here you go. Here you go. I know who finna take this and run with it. So I'm going to give it to you. Here you go. Here laid out on a silver platter, Angry Vigilante. Here you go. Yes, I was looking for something and I'm realizing it's not here yet. And those who feel that way, I think there's a legitimate reason to feel that way. That don't mean I'm not enjoying my Switch, Angry Vigilante. And make sure you play this when you do your video. If you do it, play all what I'm saying. But yes, I kind of felt it the other day like, okay, yeah, I am ready for a sizzle wheel. I'm ready to see what's coming. And of course, BK Bonanza scratch that itch for me. I just can't wait till the 17th. But I feel like Nintendo needs to start showing what's next. And I know that may be like, man, that's that microwave mentality. Yeah, it kind of is, but it's unique in this sense. We do only have one actual Switch 2 title. And I'm just going to be honest about that. We only have really one. Everything else, even if you go into your back catalog, you had all this time. And I think that's a fair feeling if you want to experience Switch 2 and what Switch 2 can do. A lot of these titles, yeah, it's just Mario Kart. And so, anyway, let me shut up. Keith, the floor is yours.
The level of disrespect Welcome Tour just got. The only Switch 2 game is Mario Kart World.
Welcome Tour. They should have made that a demo. Go ahead. Go ahead. I plan on buying it too. Go ahead.
The one game that utilizes the Switch 2 in all of its features. I'm playing, but I'm not playing.
I know you're not.
I know why people wouldn't want to buy that game, but it actually does utilize the Switch 2 to all its features. There's a game on there where you could try to figure out this game is running at 30 frames a second versus 60 frames a second to 120 frames a second. It's all there. The gyro, rumble, mouse, all of it is right there in the Welcome Tour. But I understand. To level, I agree that. Well, I'll go back to my original point. I don't know when we had this conversation about what should the launch title be for the Switch 2, and everybody was saying Mario Kart, Mario Kart, Mario Kart, and I was like, oh, no, I don't think Mario Kart. I think Mario Kart should come later. I think Mario Kart is one of them games you throw in there to spice it up, but originally I was not on the Mario Kart bandwagon because I was thinking like, yo, I think the Switch in and of itself is going to be exciting, that anything could probably flourish. You put something out there, people are going to have to go get it to check it out. Like, I think I was maybe said something like Star Fox or something like that doesn't necessarily always get the proper chance. They always put like a Star Fox out toward the end of the life of the console, and it never gets the chance that it could get. And I was like, man, maybe we should start off the generation with an IP that they normally don't do it. And I guess technically Donkey Kong Bonanza is that game, but that's what I felt, because I was like, we know what Mario Kart is going to give us, and Mario Kart World is amazing. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
But I understand your sentiments, and I see it, and I agree. These are the facts. A lot of these games, if not all of them, outside of Welcome Tour, Mario Kart World, can be played somewhere else, including the original Switch. These games can already be experienced. These are facts. Nobody's trying to hide anything. Like you said, we honest on here. So I understand the sentiment of wanting something new, playing Mario Kart. I think you said, Level, that it's a addition game. Like, it's one of them games where you play, I got Mario Kart 2, but you're playing another game.
Right.
Like what I'm playing, like Hogwarts. Like, I can sink my teeth into Hogwarts because there's a 70-hour story that I can get through. What I think, though, and I said this offline, is that I think we should take our time, experience our games, really get to know the console, explore some of these games that we didn't get a chance to play, like Hogwarts. Yes, I could play it on the PC. I could play it on the PC right now for $15. I paid $30 for it on the Switch 2. I paid double what I could pay on the PC, and probably could.
That's hard when you could buy it somewhere for $19.
You could buy it somewhere else and play it at a higher fidelity and higher frame rate than what I can play on the Switch 2. But I decided to play it on the Switch 2. I saw the sale, I saw the opportunity, and I took it. But I think there should be a healthy balance. The more and more I think about it, I'm not even going to go as hard as I went in the voice note. I think there's a healthy balance that, because there's a lot of people that are eager for Nintendo to give us some information. You know, me and Nia was calling it that dopamine. Like you need that dopamine rush of getting announcements. Like Nintendo, tell us what's next. But the reality is, you're still playing Mario Kart, and soon to be playing Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a part of us as gamers to not be so quick to try to get to the next thing, because we're spending $80, $70, $60 on these games, and we're rushing through them for what? For who?
True.
Like I'm not a YouTuber to the point where I'm trying to play all the latest and greatest games that comes out. On one, I don't have the time. I don't have the time.
You literally said what I said in the chat
Yeah.
when you talking. I'm very particular about games I play because I don't really have the time to put into games like I used to. First of all, I want to stay married. My wife looks at me, kids running around, she cooking, and I'm sitting there with a controller in my hand. A lot of things is going to be cut off, and I don't want that. So I don't have the time to put into games like I used to. And it got a draw. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Keith, but I wanted to kind of jump in on that. When the Switch came out, the only game I played and it just nonstop, Breath of the Wild. I was playing Breath of the Wild nonstop. And I didn't feel like I was missing. And there was no other games that I had at the time. That was it. Breath of the Wild, and I think Orms when it finally came out. I literally just Breath of the Wild all day, all night. As soon as I got off work, I popped it on. Before I went to bed, my wife sit and watch me. That's one of the few games my wife actually sit and watch me play and then act like it was problematic. Breath of the Wild was just that thing. That's not Mario Kart. Mario Kart is not a single-player engulfing game. It's meant to pick up, put down, pick up, put down. It's not meant to just stay. I can't just keep racing tracks all day. And so after a while, you feel like, okay, I've got my feel of this for right now. I'm not done with it, but I was like this with Mario 8 Deluxe. I got my feel for about an hour. I put this down. I want to go play something that takes up my time. That's going to have me there trying to figure out a puzzle, trying to figure out this and where am I going? On who's the boss over there and what's up that hill? That's what's Breath of the Wild. That's Odyssey. That's Bonanza. And that's not here right now. And so that single player experience is missing. I should have as much as I'm enjoying CD Projekt Red, that's not my type of a game. And I said that in the chat. I just was supporting, but I'm enjoying it. I probably should have, when you told me to, Keith, should have jumped on that Hogwarts when it was on sale. You said, hey, level, you need to get that. I was like, no, I'm going to get Cyberpunk. Because I was trying to, I'm not rich, so I'm not trying to go broke over this stuff. I should have jumped on that when you told me. That's what I should have did. Because the
update was only $10.
Right. The more you talk about it, the more I'm like, that may have been the experience I'm looking for. But I need a story. I want to be immersed. Which I got to bring K-Bum in. K-Bum, you take the floor, and then I'll finish what I was saying. Go ahead, K-Bum.
Yeah, I said that. It was thin. I definitely felt that it was thin when it launched, but at that point in time, it was dangerous grounds to say that. You had to walk around the minefield when you say that the lineup was pretty thin. But that was absolutely my sentiments. I still do believe it's thin. It is a console launch, so it's not the end of the world. It's not. It's not the point where we say, everyone regrets for getting a Switch because the lineup there, and it's a console launch. It's kind of what happens, right? You get a lot of games that you can play on the previous system. You get upgraded graphics like we enjoyed with Ghost of Tsushima, and then you get a couple of those true next gen experiences, and then everything else is kind of just fillers. It's a console launch, and we should be able to embrace and say that it's there without the minefields blowing up and going off and so what. We talked about. I know I can't speak for Nintendo gamer because I'm not a Nintendo gamer, So I'm not waiting for a platformer. I'm not waiting for a single player experience because I don't really play those on a Nintendo system. So I'm going to speak from my perspective as far as my feelings with this lineup and what's missing. So I will say this, and this kind of circle backs to the conversation that I was actually trying to make in the chat. Um, Mario Kart is the number one kart game. Everyone can agree with that. Mario Kart leads the pack when it comes to kart racing. The sentiments I was making in the chat is I don't believe Mario Kart has to be like every other kart racer. And this is why I brought up the conversation of Mario Kart being able to have some of these modern type gaming. I don't think people will still have that missing feeling, right? But it would be more dope if Mario Kart we're saying, hey, we're releasing new power-ups for you to try. Right, we got some experimental game modes where you can try. Hey, we just unlocked a season upgrade for the summer where you can. We added, we updated tracks for the summer, right? Or just something to here's a battle pass that gives you new blah blah blah, right? It would make it a little bit more. Where I'm looking for it, you would enjoy. You would enjoy
replayable.
Thank you. Mario Kart would be a lot more replayable if there was something more to do to go back and actually do in the game, and not that it would fill the void, not that it would make the void completely gone, but it would increase that replay value that after replayability, like 2-3 weeks after the console launch, you're not really like, all right, what's the next thing? So I do. I think Mario Kart can do that. I think they should have done that, especially with the higher cost of Mario Kart World. Yes, they've given you open worlds, but and the game is probably bigger than it's ever been. But it could be bigger. It to me, I personally feel like there's only two modes: online knockout, online versus, but the
battle.
It's not battle. Is it battle?
Circuit, just going through the
circuit. Yeah, circuit. Yeah, battle. No, I don't know how many people actually play battle, but people do. People do. It's there. But for me, it's only two modes, and it doesn't have that replayability. And so if they had other aspects, I think that'd have been dope and give you more reasons to stay there instead of going to other games. We know there's still things on the horizon. We still know there's Metroid, which is still not that next gen exclusive, but you are going to get that 4K 60.
Speak for yourself, sir. Do you not downplay the more Metroid Prime 4 is next gen?
No, it's created for it's up res through next gen, but it's not that next gen experience.
Say it with me.
No, you can play it on the Switch. People on the Switch are going to put
next gen.
People on the Switch. No, we're not going to fight for this because we've already established this. People on the Switch can play the same game, just not 4K 60. They're going to play the same game. The only next gen piece of that is that it's 4K 60. But it's still coming. There's no reason to be dire. No reason to jump out windows and hang yourself. It's coming. It's a console launch. These games are going to be there. But right now, yeah, it feels a little thin. Breath of the Wild made it feel a little bit better because it was a very engaging game. It kept your attention for a while. Right. It kept your attention for a long while before you actually got ready for something else. And yes, it was a single player experience, but it still kept your attention. And Mario Kart doesn't really do that. You kind of play, you use it, you play a little bit, and then you go do something else. So that's kind of my sense about that. I'm not going to I'm not gonna beat that dead horse too long, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
Nia, you said it's cross
Man,
next
what?
gen. See what Nia said? It's cross next. Nia, add next in front of that gen. It's cross next gen, Cable, huh? It's cross next gen.
No.
You know what would be a cool
it's
mode?
crossing into the next gen. That's what it's doing. Go ahead, Kate.
No.
You know what would be a cool mode in Mario Kart? Underground mode. I said this offline to y'all, I think, but underground mode, drag racing, because we got these streets, right? These new, they call them intermission. I don't call them, they're routes. I think that would be dope if they had like a little urban thing going on, kind of like what K-Bone was saying. Let's take his idea of seasonal things and like, oh, it's the urban season, and now we got drag racing, and you take off at the beginning, and it's just that constant who can get there the fastest, whatever. I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I think those are good ideas to keep people engaged, but Ania's right that she said it in the chat that people who play Mario Kart are very casual, but does it have to always be that way? That would be my question. Does it always have to be that way? Could we possibly go somewhere else with Mario Kart, especially with World? They gave us an open world. Let's fill it.
You went right where I was about to go. I think what Nintendo may have missed this, and I know a lot of people gonna try to run with this stuff. But anyway, we keep it real here. The open world probably could have incorporated a storyline and some, even if it was just a cheap storyline, it's something. And some boss battles, like maybe you got to race Luigi around this thing, and you got to beat him, and then you got to go, and Peach got her own challenge for you with her, and you got to fight. You got to until you get to the top, and you know something like that, where you got a storyline in the game, and then I'm gonna concede here as well. I'm going to concede here. Me and K-Bum had a back and forth over the very thing he was talking about, and I never disagreed with K-Bum. The only part I pushed back on was, therefore, it's inferior. I felt like you were saying Mario is inferior. But outside of that, listening to you tonight, I like what you were saying. I agree with you. They could Splatoon it up, so to speak, with all the different ways Splatoon adds.
If that's your reference, then yeah, that's fine.
I'm saying because that's how Nintendo would do it.
No, I get it.
You know how they have Splatfest and all that type of stuff? That'd be dope to incorporate some of that stuff. Because I tried out a few of the Splatfest and the themed where you had the Ninja Turtles, you had pizza versus hamburger, you had maybe you're right. You were absolutely right. And Keith, I know me and you went back and I said it's Mario Kart is the biggest, and it is. But Mario Kart is meant to be played a certain way. And I think Nintendo know that. I think that's why Bonanza is so close. So technically, if I be honest, it hasn't been that long. You know, it really hasn't. Because we literally just got to Switch, 3 weeks ago, and Bonanza is literally a week and a half out. So technically, there's really nothing to complain about, but the sentiments, and I think this is where Nintendo missed it. And then we can start trying to wrap this up. I'm going to give everybody another opportunity to share some more thoughts. Nintendo got to do this. This is what they got to stop doing with the Switch 2. They can't make this move no more. When Summer Game Fest was out and all those third parties were announcing their titles and what system they were coming to, Nintendo should have allowed those companies to control the announcement. You could control when it hits your platform. You could say, hey, Capcom, or hey, Microsoft, we have a game launching at the time that y'all launching at across the board, so we want you to put that on our system at this date. Do that, but let them make the announcement. Let them put Switch 2 up there. I think had they allowed third parties to announce their games during the Summer Game Fest, that game was coming to the Switch 2 too, that would have also alleviated a lot of this stuff. Because a lot of people want to know, are the new third-party games coming? We already know what's coming for first party. We know Bonanza is there. We know Metro Prime 4 is coming. We know a Splatoon spinoff is coming. We know Pokemon, if you into that, is coming. I'm not. But third party, we want to know. Like we just literally saw the other day. We saw, and it looks really, really good. I'm going to play it. We saw WWE 25 for the Switch 2. Now, we know that that's already on the other platforms, but you get my drift. Like, Nintendo need to start letting third-party control when they announce their game coming to a Switch instead of trying to save it for a partner showcase or something like that. They should have took advantage of that, but that's the only other part. So I can see the K-Bum. He's right. Nintendo can incorporate some of these things. Donkey Kong is still a launch window. That's why I said it's really not a real complaint. I just felt the sentiment was like, why am I in this eShop? What am I looking for? And I was literally looking for a single player experience. I found it though. I found it by going back to Odyssey, and this graphical overhaul pulled me right back in. I felt at home. I was like, there you go. I feel at home. And I haven't played Odyssey in so long, I forgot all the stuff that's in it. So it's going to feel refreshing. Breath of the Wild, I was going to get the full power of the Master Sword. That felt refreshing. So it's not a real for real legit complaint, but I'll give space for those who feel that way though. But yeah, go ahead. Who else want to go? I'm getting this game, man. I'm getting this. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. I'm getting this game. I like how this game look. I'm getting WWE 2K25. I'm sorry. I'm getting this game. Go ahead. Keith, you got anything else to add to that, and are we done?
No, I just want to say Metroid Prime gonna be fire. If y'all notice in the Nintendo Today app, they keep giving us Metroid stuff every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day we get some Metroid information. So I don't care if you think it's next gen, K-Bomb, last gen, third gen, it's gonna be fire. That's all I got to say about that. But no, I ain't really had nothing else.
Okay. K-Bomb, any final words on that subject?
No, I think we hit it on. I'm not sure about Nintendo and what they do about messaging as far as allowing third party to announce things, but
they need to.
The more momentum they allow to happen for the Switch, the better. And so they need to allow that momentum just to keep going.
The reason I say that, to me, I think is more impactful. If you want true parity, right? This is about parity, right? If you hold the announcement to you announce it, it don't, even though it's dope, it still don't hit the same as when everybody is watching EA or watching Capcom or watching all these announcements, and the game coming to your device is the only game not announced, and then you wait and until you do your partner direct to make that announcement that was made a month and a half ago for every other system. It's like,
right.
It's cool, it's great, but when everybody else saw it at the same time, would have been the window to see Switch 2 there, because it brings you into the conversation with those platforms instead of you being off to the side. So to me, third party should be controlled by the entity that's making the game. They should be like this right here. What is this? James Bond. Let's say that they announced it all at once. Now, we knew it was coming because it was in Nintendo's scissor wheel when it launched the Switch 2. But let's say the trailer for James Bond came out before Nintendo announced that it was coming. And then they put up their PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X. Switch 2 should have been there, but Nintendo would have made, is my thought, that Nintendo would have told them not to put Switch 2 up there so that they could control that announcement. And to me, that's silly to me. That's like Nia just said, that's way too controlling. Let them announce it, be a part of the chaos, be a part of the noise, be a part of the moment. Let your fan base share in the moment with other fan bases. So you don't have to listen for 3 months. Oh, that ain't coming to the Switch 2. Then it finally come. But you missed the window when everybody was excited about it. Now you got to be excited over here in your little small group. But everybody got to share that moment together but the Nintendo fan base. So to me, Nintendo need to stop doing that. Have your partner showcase. You can announce it again there. Let them do a creator's voice. But let the game be announced. I think that would alleviate a lot of this if we knew a lot of these games, which we do know some of them are coming. And we are in a popcorn microwave society where we beat, like Keith said, and I said this in the chat too, cats beat a game in a week and be ready for a new game the next week like these people making games like that. I don't play my games like that. I ain't trying to beat a game I just spent $60 on in 1 week. I'm trying to enjoy the game. So if I feel like I'm about to beat it, I go do side quests. So I don't. But anyway, yeah, man, that was my sentiments. K-Bum, I agree with you. Nintendo could add a lot of these features in the Mario Kart to make it a lot better. I just didn't want you to say it's inferior, but that wasn't what you were saying. So that's my bad. So
it's all good.
Saying that.
Appreciate it.
Huh?
I want. I know we gotta go. It's 11:10, but I understand what you're saying. But only thing I'm gonna say is, we'll see when we finally get that Nintendo Direct and they announce those games. No, listen.
Oh, okay.
And when they announce those games, we'll see. And what do you like to say, Level? Keep that same energy.
I am, because I am going to keep, because we're going to be excited. But I think we would be more excited if we got to share in the moment with every other fan base. Like, it's like, okay, now if it come out at the same time, you still going to get to enjoy it at the same time. I'm just saying, when Summer Game Fest, I feel like if these games was coming and you knew they was coming, let them companies announce them games. It's their game. Let them announce it. I think it's better coming from them than you. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be excited as soon as I see it, even with Nintendo. But I think I will be more excited by seeing it from Soft or from Capcom. If Resident Evil 4 is a Requiem, if that's coming, let Capcom announce that when they announced it for everybody else. Because to me, it brings more, it puts more respect. And Nia, let me say this. Don't hate me for saying this, but I think it's relevant. It puts more respect on the system if you are right there with the bunch and being announced just and treated like they getting treated. So if Madden coming, EA should be saying, and it's coming to the Switch at the same time they saying it's coming to the PlayStation 5. To me, that puts respect on the Switch name. Like, yeah, we respect them like that. But when Nintendo want to make that announcement themselves, okay, it's cool, but you feel like you feel like you the date that everybody hiding in the other room. Like, no, man, don't be ashamed to be with me. But it's Nintendo doing that. So
I get it.
Yeah. So I mean, so don't miss what I'm saying. But yeah, I agree with you, Keith. I'm gonna still be excited. So I will keep the same energy. I will. Anything else? I think that's it. I think we covered everything that we had for topics and what we wanted to talk to in between it. So we can go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so that was the cast for tonight. Nintendo, give us that sizzle reel. Stop playing. But thank you for Bonanza. And thank you for whatever y'all did to Odyssey. Odyssey is Godyssey for real. K-Bum, I'm not joking. Odyssey shouldn't be looking this good. Odyssey almost could pass as a Switch 2 game. That's how good it looks. Like how was this really on the Switch? It looks that good. So it only makes me more. And Keith, you didn't even tell everybody you played Bonanza.
I played it for like a second, but yeah, I did. I got a chance to finally play Donkey Kong Bonanza. I couldn't really
2 hours and 39 minutes later, you tell everybody.
I know. I couldn't really sink my teeth into it, man. My kids was running around. I was like, they need to sit down or stop doing something. But anyways, yeah, I played it. It's good.
That's funny.
Like I said, visually, let me ask you this. Let me pause the music. Visually, what was your thoughts? That's the one thing I wanted. And K-Bum, don't hold me. I still gameplay first, but visually, how was it, Keith? Because that was your issue. That was your issue. So I want to know what your thoughts.
It was handheld, so I don't even want to judge it off handheld.
No,
but it looked good.
It looked good. Okay.
It looked good, but I don't want to judge it off handheld. I want to see it in whatever highest fidelity it's supposed to be in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's what I was like. Why hasn't he said how it looks? But anyway, let's go. But go ahead, sign out. Keep the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for joining us, rocking with us. It's great topics. I think we handled them very well. While all this was going on, they were shooting fireworks, sound like bombs outside my window. I ain't even flinch. I'm hard body over here. I ain't even flinch. No, let me stop. But no, thank you everybody for coming through. It was fun. Also, Nia streamed today. She streamed Alters, and I was a guest on her show. It was real quick. Yeah, I was on there. You know what I'm saying? When she was playing Alter, I was playing Cyberpunk. But yeah, man. Tomorrow, people gonna be out doing what they do. Might be guns, might be firecrackers. All I'm gonna say is just be safe. Be safe. And until next time.
All right, K-Bum.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed today. Definitely a good podcast. It's always good to get out here and chop it up with the homies because the chat gets a little hot. So it's always good to hop on Thursday and have some civilized conversations like some real human beings. But I enjoyed today. I enjoyed you guys in the comment section. You guys are always keeping us honest and chatting it up. I appreciate it. You guys enjoy yourself. Get out there. Got some movies coming out this summer. I think Jurassic World's out. Superman's coming out, and Fantastic Four's coming out. So it's gonna be a great July. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah, man. If y'all got a chance to get a gander at our chat, y'all be like, how do they even make it to the podcast? Our chat be lit, man. But that's where we hash it out. That's where we work out the kinks. We let our hair down, so to speak, in the chat. Then we patch each other up, band-aids and all the scratches and punches. Then we come on here and have a good time. So thank the Lord for the chat.
There was some grown men conversations in the chat.
It's cutthroat. It's cutthroat
in the chat.
Good Lord.
The chat is real, but that's how I know this friendship is real. From the chat, Phil's getting in the chat, but not on the podcast. With that being said, I thank everybody for tuning in on tonight. Man, this is probably one of the realest podcasts y'all gonna ever listen to. Hey, man, we keep it real, we keep it honest, we keep it clean, and that's what it's about. Y'all come in, and we enjoy y'all, man. We really thank y'all for tuning in and jumping in with us and keeping it up with us. But anyway, this was the Live Level Gamers Podcast. Enjoy your 4th. I don't know what's gonna be happening to the world we living in. They passing this crazy bill. I think it passed, y'all. I think they.
Yep, it passed.
So, I don't know what these folks doing. So, hey, man, y'all find the Lord. I tell you that. Find the Lord right now. But with that being said, this was the Live Level Gaming Podcast. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Till then, y'all be blessed. Deuces. Peace.
We got smashed, bro.